We are here. I mean, here it is, man. NFL teams reporting, right? NFL teams reporting today are Carolina Panthers, the Dallas Cowboys, the Indianapolis Colts, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tomorrow, Tennessee, Philly, New Orleans Rams, Texans, and Cardinals will be reporting. Guys, we're here. Here it is. And I got to tell you, I am looking forward to this most anticipated NFL season. I hope everyone had a spectacular weekend, the last weekend of non-football. We move forward now, and we own the sports pages. We own the sports pages now. And get this, 4 weeks you got college football kicking off too. Two most important sports in America. NFL, college football. The rest are grabbing crumbs. They are grabbing crumbs. Man, saw the rings. Listen, here. I think the rings are fine until you get that hokey Cracker Jack wing pop out. Very cheesy. I mean, pretty cheesy. It's something like you win at a wing bowl. The champion of the wing bowl, click, and then the wings pop out. Very cheesy. Holy shit. Honestly, man, I thought it was like a Superman or a Batman, like decoder ring or something. Like somebody getting a thing out of Apple Jacks or Cracker Jacks or whatever. I mean, the thing was cheesy as hell. Pop, they're the wings, they pop out. Oh, okay, I guess so. Really cheesy. The rings were great. I'm all good with the rings. But the cheesiness, Pop, here. This is what I think of the Eagle rings. Cool, until they went like this. This is the Eagle ring. Look at this. Holy cow. Pretty cheesy. That's all right. Hey, you get to be a cheese ball when you win the Super Bowl. Like I said, if you don't pop the wing things out, I'm good. It's a good-looking ring, man, but yeah, every time I see the rings now. Holy cow. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. Supers go to the top. We got a power pack show once again for you. Holy cow. Best, cheesiest rings of all time. Thanks, King of Kings. Holy shit. That's something you win at a wing bowl. Is it Wing Bowl champions? Holy cow. Seals, do you think it's disrespectful to have Jordan Mailata at 69 in the top 100? No. I probably would have put him in the top 50 best players. I probably would have put him up there. Okay? Jason of Beverly Hills made the Eagles Super Bowl rings. The wings of the Wing Bowl. I felt they won the Wing Bowl. Hey, the rings are good looking until the Wing Bowl thing came out. Okay? Now you're right. I would never have a Wing Bowl ring. Thanks very much. Agreed. Mailata is 11 according to PFF. Okay. Top 100 players vote on that shit. Yeah, inside the top 50, I think Mailata's a top 50 player. Sills, the third ring is going to be built like hey, I mean, I don't know if they get another ring, holy shit, what's this thing going to look like? It's going to look like a Pop-Tart. Oh, man. There you go. Here's Kyle. Thank you very much for the super chat. So when I pop the wings out, do I get a plate of oysters? Hey, no, when you pop the wings out on the new Super Bowl Eagle rings, you know what you get? It's a 2-for-1 on extra spicy wings. And now you get a free front row seat at the next Wing Bowl in Vegas, whatever that means. Holy cow. Look at this right here. What you talking about cheesy? Here's another cheesy. You can't be great without the greatness of others. Put that on a chalkboard, right, Coach? Hey, come on, Coach. Put that on a fucking chalkboard. That's the best rings we've ever seen. Yet you're such a hater. No, I'm not. I don't hate the ring. I hate the wings. I don't hate the ring. You're not listening. Pop. Do I fly away with that? Holy shit. I'll tell you what, man. You think that'd be a good centerpiece? Do you think that'd be a good centerpiece on a date? Hey, you want to see my wings pop out? Look at that. How you doing? Yeah, I won. Cooper DeJean down on the shore in Wildwood is going to be a star with the wings popping open. You imagine that dude at a titty bar with that? Watch this, sweetheart. Pop. Oh! Holy shit, that's going to be a big hit at the titty bars. The wings getting open and popping open on the rings? Man, holy cow. Certified hater. No, not a certified hater. I like the ring. I hate the fucking cheesiness of it that you added. You overcooked it. Okay? You wish the Eagles sucked. No, I wish you sucked. Let's see here. Yeah. You know he's getting more. Oh, absolutely. You kidding me? When that pop open that wings, every girl's going to throw their hands up and go, oh, my God, Cooper the maniac. You are so wonderful. Holy shit. This guy's got a ring that wings pop out of. Where'd you get that? Cracker Jacks. Holy cow. Cooper the titty bar. Yeah. Wings and legs. We're getting spread tonight, baby. There you go, Twiz. Get that when you win the Wing Bowl. Sills, the wing thing is a bit gimmicky, but if you use it right, it's a great wingman. Well done and touche. Absolutely. Great. It's a talking point. Got it. Never thought of it that way. Yes, I'm in. You talked me into it, weapon. You got it. Excuse me, that's really a crazy ring. You want to see something else, sweetheart? Hold on to your thighs. Pop. Thing pops out. All of a sudden, you're right. I'm in. You sold me. Weapon? Okay. It's a good talking point. There you go. Shit. I am in. By the way, look at the list. Tomorrow's the first day of training camp. All the shit's done with. All the analyzing, all the conjecture. If you ain't built your team now, there ain't anything you gonna do to help you in September. That bitch is done. Payoff is in September. If you didn't build your team and you're rock and rolling and ready to go, I don't care what you think you're going to do. You ain't going to win. Sill's favorite quarterbacks only get rings when they order rings from Burger King. No, my favorite quarterbacks are the one that get that nice degree and that one ring that folds up in their wallet. It says 60-55 to $60 million. That's what I like. That's the ring I like. I pay. Hey, when you're an NFL player, that's right, guys. We're playing for the integrity of the game and for rings. We're not paying. I would play for free because that's the kind of guy I am. I would play for free because I'm a Philadelphia Eagle. I would play for onion rings. I would. Money? I'm not playing for money. I'm an Eagle. Leon says, fuck it. If it's $65 million, I'll play for $6 million because I'm Leon's Eagle with the ones with the wings, with the rings. Hey, if I could have fucking wings popping out of my Super Bowl, I'll take a pay cut. How you doing? Sills, how was the weekend? How's the wife? How's Sileo Jr.? How is Aunt Betty? How's the family? How you doing on this Monday afternoon? I am feeling great, Mr. CTE, because it is a football Monday. Okay? That's what I'm here for. Hey, and plus I'm here for the cheesy-ass wings. Pop! Boom. Holy shit. It's all right. All right. A lot of teams reporting. NFL's getting underway. We got football at the end of the month. 2 weeks away, we got football already, the Hall of Fame game. So we're gonna go over some stuff here. By the way, JAKIB, 4:30. We have got a plethora of people. On Friday, I got a double hitter. You ready for this? The chairman of the NFL Competition Committee and the president of the Atlanta Falcons, Rich McKay, will join us on Friday. That will be at 3:30. He's joining my Tampa show as well. But because he was against the tush push, we've got to get Rich McKay on. So, guys, we appreciate it. Please hit that like button. All right. I got a couple things. I'm going to go over what I want to see in 2025. Like I said, all the prognosticating is over with here. But I do want to do this. I turned on Birds 365 this morning. I couldn't believe what I was listening to. I thought I was listening to the Dan Sileo show. John McMullen and Jeff Kerr were Sky is Falling. I happen to agree with them. I don't think it's Sky is Falling. I think it's just being honest. RC, Ringo Bingo, 7 INTs this year. How you doing? That's a nice fantasy. You remind me of the dude that was this high who used to be on Fantasy Island going, boss, look, the plane. You know that little guy? RC3's that little guy. Boss, 7 interceptions. Look, boss. So I happen to agree. John brought a great point up. Then again, I've been bringing it up the entire offseason. The entire offseason. Remember when I brought this topic up in March? Don't you think the Eagles are more concerned about 26 and 27 than they are about 2025? It's funny how some of you just, like, I say this stuff, and then when other people start bringing it up, you forget we've been talking this way and been consistent the entire fucking offseason. This is not new. This is actually old news. There is no way that the Philadelphia Eagles this offseason had a priority at building the team. They did not build this team. They didn't do anything over the top or add anything except potential. You added not one thing that was a sure thing this offseason where you're confident that's a good player or not. Not one player. Not one. You did not. Hey, what about Jahad Campbell? I fucking have no idea until he puts on a helmet and gets out there and practices. Zero. Do I think? There's that word, potential. Go down the list of all the new people you're adding to the starting lineup. It is potential, which means it is unknown. It doesn't mean negative or positive. It just means unknown. You might be the number 1 ranked fucking defense in the entire NFL. You easily could be that. You easily could be 17th. That's the swing in this. But I think our core, if you don't think that Darius Slay and Milton Williams and Josh Sweat and whoever's going to start at linebacker and Gardner Johnson were not core guys on the number 1 ranked defense, you're out of your fucking minds. Well, what about the guys we have returning? I know they are part of a core. The old core, not this core. You have no idea. This is all I've been saying the entire offseason. That's it. The Eagles. Now, let me ask you this. How many people in here believe? Get this. I'm glad you brought this up. This Carl Aftis kid got an extension. He was drafted the same year that Jordan Davis was. He got $93 million. Where's Davis's deal? He got $66 million guaranteed. Where's Davis's deal? They were drafted in the same draft, and he was 30th. Davis was 13th. Well, he's a nose. You didn't draft him to be a nose. You moved him a nose. If you think that draft pick has been a great draft pick, you're high. Oh, he's been drafting great. You overdrafted a first-round pick. Seals, do you think he's a bust? No. He's just not a three-down guy. Carl Aftis was the 30th player taken by the Chiefs. Just got a $93 million contract extension. Your guy didn't. He didn't. Why? He got his fifth year picked up because they're not sure. Kansas City, sure. That right there, anytime you see a guy who's in your draft class who gets a contract extension, okay? He gets a contract extension and a guy drafted earlier than him doesn't, ask the question, why? See, this is a lame-ass answer. Because you tell me that Howie's fucking some sort of draft wizard. And then when we point it out, who cares? Well, I care because that's not a very good pick. Sidney Brown's not going to be a good pick. There's two dudes, a 1 and a 3. Drafting great? We shall find out. You guys jumped the gun on these two players. A 1 and a 3. I'm just picking that out now. And if Nakobe's not ready until week 10, that'll be a 1 and 2 3s. Still drafting great, okay? Because Cooper and Q, those guys are going to like skew the pot. Well, Sills, look at the other guy. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Get this. See this? Reaching? How are you reaching when a guy who was the 30th pick, was a D lineman in the draft, gets a fucking $93 million contract extension over the weekend, and your guy gets $11 million extension picked up? Why didn't he get his extension? Because he was overdrafted. That's not reaching. Those are facts. It's not fucking reaching, dickhead. Wait a minute. Hey, so really, this guy will try to convince you that Howie, if Sidney doesn't start and he gets beat out by the guy they drafted this year, he'd still tell you the third-round pick's a good pick. Get this. Here, okay, I was going to go to this topic, but I'll do it now. Kobe Turner's a better pick than Jordan Davis. He's outplayed him the last 2 years. By far, he's a third-rounder. Kobe Turner is a better player than Jordan Davis. He's a better defensive tackle. He's a better, here, okay, you guys don't know who he is? I'll give you a little insight. Plays for the Rams. And Kobe Turner, starting with the Rams, as they're rebuilding too. Kobe Turner, 2023, 9 sacks. 57 tackles, 24, 8 sacks, 17 for 2 years, 62 tackles. Last 2 years, Jordan Davis, 2.5 sacks, 45 tackles. Last year, 1 sack, 27 tackles. Who do you think's a fucking better player? Kobe Turner by far is a better football player. You goddamn right, man. They had to cut over $65 million in cap because of the Super Bowl money. Bro, you're the one reaching. Kobe Turner's a better player than Jordan Davis. Who skills do you want? I want the more productive player. He's outplayed him massively. Hey, he was on a Super Bowl team. Yeah, sitting on the sidelines for 65% of the plays, playing 2 downs. He's not a 3-down player. Turner's a better player. You want the winner. That don't mean he's better. Plays on a better team. Kobe Turner is a more productive football player. Which one do you? Hey, who do I want? I'll take Turner all night long over him. I got him in the 3rd round. I didn't have to waste first-round money. I didn't have to pay 11.2 on a contract extension. I'll take Turner all fucking night long. He's a better player. He's a 3-down guy. I mean, there's no getting around it. You just don't like caring how he whiffed on this guy. Kobe Turner was a kid out of Wake Forest. They grabbed him in the 3rd. And they're paying him 10 times less. Okay? Paying him 10 times less. And you don't have a defensive coordinator questioning his condition every single year. By the way, he's better. He's outplayed him. And as they continue, by the way, the Rams got another run stopper next to him, a run stopper. Turner will have double-digit sacks this year. He's had 9 and 8. 9 and 8. He's a better pass rusher already. How you doing? You gave a guy $11 million who can't play the money down. Okay? Okay, I mean, he was a 5th rounder? He was a 5th rounder, excuse me. And he's already a better player. Those are facts. Yeah, but my guy played on a Super Bowl team. So what? That don't mean he's a better player. That's like saying that Nolan Smith's a better player than Myles Garrett because he played for the fucking Eagles. He's nowhere near Myles, nor will he ever be near Myles Garrett. I mean, well, he was Super Bowl winner. So dopey. Just really so fucking dopey. Okay? Ridiculous. All right, guys. So, how many people believe that you guys built the team for a Super Bowl run in 2025? Let's start here. What was the most significant thing you added to your team in 2025 that will ensure you a shot at winning a Super Bowl? What was the biggest move you made or biggest addition that you made to help you win that Super Bowl? What was the biggest thing you did? What was the biggest thing you added to ensure your football team wins a Super Bowl? And you're focused on 2025. What is it? Once again, Twiz, take the shit out of your ears. What is the one thing that you added to Philadelphia to ensure with all the losses you had that you were going to be a good football player or a good football team this year? What was the most significant move? It's on you. Answer. What was the most significant thing? We're going to repeat this question 1 billion times until it's answered. Just because you play on a great team at college doesn't mean you're going to be great in college. Totally true. Aziz, at Azizo Jalari. To take my friend Leon at face value here, I'm being very sure. I'm gonna go on a limb here. I think that he's being sarcastic here. So we're gonna go down that lane as he's being Leon. I'm going to assume you're being very sarcastic. Okay? Playing defensive tackle involves more than just getting sacks. He's got 65 tackles. He's productive in tackles for losses, and also sacks. Go back and look at the numbers. It's not just sacks. He's outperformed them in every metric there is. I told you he's a better ball player. He's outperformed him. It's not just sacks. This guy's almost a 70 tackle guy. Plays in a 3 technique. You drafted Jordan Davis to be a 3 technique, not a nose tackle. And you had to move him to the lesser position because of his skill set. How many times you hear Xander even saying, I'd like to see the guy more in a 3. Well, he can't play a 3. Ojulari is not a beast. Okay? Yeah, Seals, we didn't sign shit. Just being real here. Leon, okay? Let me ask you something, Leon. Because, again, you and me will go back and forth. And I respect your take. I do. And you caught me a couple times, which I love. Do you think they had more of an emphasis? Okay? Do you think there's been more of an emphasis on 26 and 27? Yes or no? Yeah, well, having played the position, Prince, he's a better player. Okay? You tell me. You tell me. Okay, hang on. Where's that? We are building for 26. I'm cool with that in the end. We still make the playoffs this year, by the way. Okay? Okay, 21 times 0. Do you agree that there's more of a priority on 26 and 27? I'm regurgitating a topic that I brought up in January, February, March, April. This was a topic from April. So I'm asking you, do you believe that there's more of a priority? You may disagree with it, but do you believe that there's more of a priority for 26 and 27 than this year? I do. Do you believe it? Yes or no? Do you believe that? Kevin, yes. By the way, Kevin, I'm not saying you suck this year. Okay, yes. By the way, guys, Kev, I don't think you're going to suck. I think you're right in the room. I do not. Here's what I think. And you tell me if you think I'm wrong. I think the Eagles think that right now they're taking advantage of the league, not being close to them, where they allowed the league to catch up with them. And in that turn, I think they sacrificed a little bit of moving forward in 25 so that they can move with huge steps in 26 and 27, still giving them, get this, they may have backed the room up for the rest of the league to kind of catch up. Because barring any, get this, you're not going to have the latitude you had a year ago with injuries. You don't have the Oren Burks or the Isaiah Rodgers or guys that could step in like Fred Johnson and all these guys. You don't have that this year. So injuries are going to be a key component to your second group. Because remember, the second group now, guys, they're stepping up to the first group. And some of these guys were playing Southeastern Conference football a year ago. Okay? You do have that? Where do you have the depth at defensive end and defensive line. And what's your depth at corner? Okay, what's your depth at corner? Adoree Jackson, who was on somebody else's team and was cut by the Giants? You truly think that's depth? Kelee Ringo and Adoree Jackson are your depth. Well, you don't have depth. Where a year ago you had Slay and Isaiah. You had those type of players. You don't have that. This year you have Kelee and a guy who was cut by the Giants. You don't have that. Even talking like that is stupidity. How about this? Leon, how do you feel about the wide receiver group if A.J. Brown goes down? How do you feel about that? Let's do this. Let's go down the room. Okay? Let's go down the room. What do you feel if A.J. goes down? Devontae and who? Jahan Dotson? Okay. Sounds common to me. You go from being an elite group to being a decent group, with Devontae being really good. You could say all the fucking fantasy shit you want. Jahan Dotson has been a colossal disaster since he was drafted in the first round. Yeah, get this. Jahan Dotson's in a great role for him, being the number 3 guy. Do you know what that traditionally is? That's a guy you draft in the 5th round. He's the 3rd guy with no volume and limited talent because he has limited opportunities. It's a position the Eagles don't even care about. Here, how many total throws did the number 3 guy even get last year? So to sit there and say that Jahan Dotson's going to have a good year based on what? 35 throws? Based on what? There's not even a volume to go and say that if he's going to have a good year or not. Here, let's take a look at that. Let's go here. I'm going to take a look at that. How many people on the wide receivers in the 3-hole? In the 3-hole, let's go there with the Eagles. What was their number a year ago? Let's see. Teams, come down here. Let's go to Philly. Stats. All right, receiving. Let's see. The number 3 guy. I'm not counting tight ends. I'm counting number 3 wide receiver. Dotson had 19 catches. Let's add it. Dotson had 19 catches. Who else? Aeneas had 7. There's 26. Wilson had 5. There's 31. Covey had 7. There's 38. Campbell had 6. Okay. You have 43 throws to the number 3 wide receiver. To sit there and try to tell me that Jahan Dotson's going to be an impact player in any way, when like 8, 9 guys had 43 throws to the number 3 wide receivers, ridiculous. 43 throws in 17 games. It's absurd. Seals, didn't the Chiefs take a step back after the first Super Bowl under Andy Reid, but they retooled and got back to 3 Super Bowls? Yeah, they not only took a step back, but they won. They got rid of Tyreek Hill and have been to 3 straight. They still got rid of Snead and went back. Okay? Yes. But they also have Patrick Mahomes. All right? Jahan will have a full training camp. What's the point of having a full training camp when he had 19 catches? Dude, are you under the impression that the number 3 wide receiver is going to have, 50 catches? They don't throw there. What impact? Hey, get this. 21 times 0. Why do you think they're going to put a fullback in the offensive game plan this year? Because they don't utilize the 3 guy. Get this. Dude, I'm making the same statements this year. Yes, I am. Just you can't say that last season you made the same comments about Bowen, Cooper, Q. Okay. Oh, no. Okay, the only person you were right about was White. How about this? Okay? Well, I'm making the same statements this year, and I'm holding to it. Just because you had a 1 year with get this, that was a 1 year wonder team. Because you ripped it apart on defense. I don't care what you like, how many players you like on your roster. We shall see. We shall see. Name me a team that's taken five starters off it and gone back to back and gone to Super Bowls and gone back to back. Most teams that go back to back run it back. Not with different dudes. Ripped what part? You missed the memo, kid. 5 new starters. You guys just said it. There's more of a priority on 26. There's more of a priority on 2026. Okay? Now, I don't think you're going to be terrible. That's not what I'm saying here. Funny, all of a sudden now, there's a lot of folks going as the season starts. I am not one of them. I am a prove it guy. This team has proven nothing. Jalen Hurts even refuses to put the ring on because he knows it's a different team. The only people, and I can't wait to see how Eagle fans respond this year, how this is going to look. I think this is going to be bumpy out of the gate defensively. I don't know about offense. I don't know about offense. Get this. So does Vic have doubts. The entire coaching staff. You know what I asked Clint Hurd about? I asked Clint, what do you make of Ty Robinson? You know what he said? Long way to go. I said, so are you going to do anything different up front? He goes, can't really comment on that, but you'll see some different alignments. Okay. Obviously, it's going to be determined on different fronts based on the talent you have. You're not going to plug and play because that's not what he does. Vic Fangio's not a plug and play guy. He creates a defense. Okay, Prince, what am I spinning? What am I spinning when I say, so folks, if you had 5 top salesmen, let's take this, and if you think this is spin, let me know. If you had 5 top salesmen, okay, like Prince says here, 5 top salesmen in your sales department, okay, that's not spin. Why else wouldn't Hurts do it unless he didn't want to be part of his team? If you had 5 top salesmen and then you recruited 5 of the best players coming out of college and people to replace those guys and those salespeople, as talented as they are, what would you say? That's exactly what you're doing here. You may have gone to Harvard to get these sales guys. That's not going to be indicative of success. Do they fit? Do they know what they're doing? Okay? We'll do that a little bit later in the program. Actually, let's do that now. Let's take Marquise's comments now. Guys, do me a favor. I wrote that down, actually. Hit the like button. So let me go here. Here. Why won't the Eagles go to the Super Bowl? Okay. Let's take Marquise here. Tougher opponent right out of the gate. You're playing tougher people. Last year, you had one of the weaker schedules in the NFL. You didn't have one of the tougher schedules. You weren't a division champ last year or coming off a division champ. Dallas had won it. So you were playing a second place schedule in the NFC. Okay? 7 playoff teams. That's always hard to determine. I mean, it's like college football. There's teams preseason ranked number 5. Okay? And, and then they end up not in the top 25. You're like, yeah, well, that was bullshit. So that's always tough to say because, again, those teams had turnover too. They had turnover also. So I agree with you. Okay? Get this. You could beat anybody based on your defense and the new personnel. I want to see it. Here, the defensive turnover and regression. Those are facts. It's turnover and regression. You're not not the word talented. Your experience level has fallen. That's regression. You're starting the season with 2 dudes potentially injured in Dean and Campbell. Right out of the gate, your depth is injured. Okay? Defensive turnover and regression. Nobody's talking talent. I didn't say you're less talented or more talented. I don't know. I don't know. Here, look at this question. Sills, does this defense suck? So does this defense suck, Sills? Yes or no? I don't know. I can't answer that on July 21st. How would I know that? How would anybody know? I'm Switzerland. Now, look, do I think the turnover's a lot and that's going to play a factor? I do, because you're not as experienced. Yes. But to sit there and go, well, Sills, do you think the defense? No, I don't know. I want to see how they play. How about this? Would this be fair, Kevin? I want to see how they communicate. I want to see how they play together. I want to see how they run to the football together. Are they going to be a good tackling team? Sidney Brown's not a good tackler. Will Keely Ringo be able to stay on the tracks of wide receivers? He's not very good at tracking. We'll see. He's got other skill sets that are great against the run. I think he'll be. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. How good will Campbell be? I think he's going to be good. He's one of the guys I liked in the draft. No idea. Get this. See this here? Hutchinson's coming back from an ugly injury, and they lost the DE for the season and started over 10 games last year. I don't know how good Aiden Hutchinson's going to be coming off that injury. To sit there and say Aiden Hutchinson's going to be the same guy he was prior to his injury in Detroit is fucking insane. I don't know. He may be better next year than this year. I think Detroit takes huge steps back with. You want to know a team that took bigger losses than you? Detroit. At key positions. Decision-making. O-line. You know what I said about the Eagles this morning on my Tampa show? The one thing that the Philadelphia Eagles have over every single football team in the league is one thing. They are set up to beat today's NFL just by running the football. The key component is going to be how good your – hey, dude, how many people in here believe that the defense had a lot to do with Barkley gaining $2,000? Does anybody believe that? Does anybody believe that the defense had a lot a year ago to do with Barkley going for $2,000? Do you understand complimentary football? Do you get that? Do you believe that last year the way they played defense and how they look at how they got off the field 3 and outs. Actually, I think the defense helped the offense more. The defense outplayed the offense a year ago. They were a better unit. Are you under the impression that the offense was a better group of players a year ago than what the defense did? They were number 2 in pass defense. They were number 1 in scoring. They were number 1 in total. They held the Kansas City Chiefs not crossing the 50-yard line until the third quarter. Are you resting? What a bullshit excuse. Just a total bullshit excuse. Resting. The defense clearly outplayed them last year. Are they going to do that again? Get this. So wait a minute. Dank thinks that offensive football team outplayed the defense a year ago. Really? You don't think that? When you were 2-2 at the beginning of the season and you had to revert to just running the ball. Are you fucking crazy? They played great from week 1 to week 20. Out of your minds. Out of your minds. Here's another one. Barkley. Does he have a 24 season? I don't think so. I just don't. How does the quarterback and the OC communicate? Well, they'll be fine because he's been here. Doesn't work like that. Situational play calling will dictate it. We'll see what kind of play caller he is. We'll see what kind of leadership he is wearing the main headset. I don't know. By the way, I'm not saying he won't. I don't know. I think it's got a lot to do with the defense, the turnover and regression and experience. Right? I don't. Now here, I want to see this in 25. By the way, guys, appreciate you coming aboard. Supers go to the top. Please. It's not worst case scenario. Says everything you're talking about is worst case scenario. Wait a second. I didn't say anything is worst case scenario. How is Saquon Barkley going to perform coming off of 24? What was the other one? Tougher schedule. That's not worst case scenario. Defensive turnover and regression. They're less experienced, and you had big turnover. That's not worst case scenario. Those are facts. This is worst case scenario. Where are you going with that? Those are facts. How's the OC and the QB going to connect with one another? What if Jalen and him don't connect? Now that's worst case scenario. I don't know yet. Do you actually believe that you could just put anybody in being an offensive coordinator and that's just going to go like this? Great. What happened in 23? What happened in 22? You had a good play caller. 23, you had a bad one. In 24, you took the ball out of the quarterback's hands. By the way, I'm not going down that line anymore where, hey, they decided and it progressed into it. That's a kind way of saying we're going to take the ball out of the quarterback's hands and we're going to give it to the guy who's going to lead us to the Super Bowl. There's only one guy who led you to a Super Bowl last year. Wait, take that back. There's one guy's talent that led you to a Super Bowl. Hurts's leadership was important. This is why we speak facts here. His leadership is important in that huddle. I'm not telling you it's not. But the guy who carried the mail was the guy in the backfield. And they determined, and even the guys were saying it coming out of the bye, Mailata and Landon. And Lane, got to run the ball. I didn't hear anybody saying we got to throw the ball more. You guys remember that? Anybody saying they got to throw the ball more? All I remember is 3 guys in the O-line saying we got to run the ball more. I don't remember anybody saying, hey, let's throw it more. It's a stupid, by the way, you know what it is? It's a reach around way to make your boy feel better about liking him more. That's all that comes down to. We progressed into it, and we didn't really have to. Holy shit. Be like, that'd be great if you could tell your employee, hey, listen, I want you to do fucking less, and we're gonna win more, and I want you to not go out on sales calls. Just sit behind your desk. I'm not saying Hurts is that guy. Okay? Hey, can I tell you what I hope he does this year? I hope if there's some shit he calls, unlike 23, he's got a set of onions and tells the OC I'm audibling out of it at the line of scrimmage, and he goes into a better play that's successful for winning. Instead of going down the fucking drain like he did in 23 with Brian Johnson. I hope he's going to have some onions this year to go, no, we're going to check an audible out of that play, and we're going to go to this play. That would be better. That would be growth. That would show us all more that he's morphing into the great position of being a truly great quarterback. How many times did Andy Reid say almost the entire time the last 3 Super Bowls that Patrick Mahomes changes plays constantly at the line of scrimmage? Hurts didn't do that in 23. And by the way, in 24, they changed it for him. They ran the ball. So, like I said, all of this on July 21, here. By the way, guys, please hit the like button here. I do too. I agree. How could you think he did that last year when his first year in 2024, he learned how to set pass protections? How in the world do you think he knew how to do that when he was still learning how to set protections? He barely got that right. He took 50 sacks counting the playoffs. 50 sacks. I think he did get better in the last 2 games. I won't lie. Okay? That's not true. This is not true. If we sit here and listen to this, we should be looking for an exclusive. Listen to what? I didn't say anything about the quarterback except that the defense outplayed the offense a year ago, that the running back had a spectacular season. You've had turnover and regression in experience. How's that looking for a franchise quarterback? You've got one. How did you fucking get from that to there to this? Who said that? This is a guy who gets his panties in a bind when anything is said about what the offseason looked like. People here are suggesting you had a great offseason. I think you had, I don't know, an offseason for the future. Oh, gotcha. Okay, Jeff. Jeff, you don't need a quarterback. You got one. Jalen Hurts is perfect for Philly. Perfect. He may not be perfect anywhere else. I don't know. There's a lot of quarterbacks in the league that aren't perfect for anybody. It could go. Dude, Joe Burrow could never have succeeded in Philadelphia a year ago with that talent. And how they approached it. You're like, are you crazy? Joe Burrow is one of the greatest quarterbacks. Team's not built for him. Team's built for Jalen. You know what I would have done with Joe Burrow? Guys, if Joe Burrow was a starting quarterback, would Saquon Barkley have run less or more? What do you think? Just so you know. Would Saquon Barkley have run less or more if Joe Burrow, and he was my team? If Burrow was on, okay? No way. I would have had Joe Burrow throw less. I would have kept running. And that put Joe Burrow in a position to have to make high turnover plays. Joe Burrow would have thrown for $4,000 and 28 touchdowns. Why would I would have took the ball out of his hands too. I would have took the ball out of his hands. There better probably a couple more throws because of his gift in the pocket, but I wouldn't have had Barkley run less. That's the problem you have in Baltimore. In the playoffs, Lamar Jackson should be throwing less, not more. And they should be running more. Okay? That could very well be. He'd be more of a factor in the passing game because the Eagles don't have a screen game. That's not one of the, get this, that's not one of the skill sets that Jalen Hurts has. There's a few things. He's not good throwing across the middle, and he's horrific at throwing the short to intermediate pass. They don't have it. They coach away from it. Smart. They know his weaknesses. That's why there's no wide receiver. And what does he have, 43 catches at the third wide receiver? Guys, they know what they're doing with him. It's not a rip. It's reality. It's what we talk here. Okay? Hit the like button, guys. We appreciate you. Need more RPO? I'd like to see more of that. I'll tell you this, Rico, I think Jalen Hurts is one of the greatest RPO readers and decision makers I've ever seen. Ever seen. He is so good at quick decision making. So good. Seals, Jalen Hurts had a challenging year passing, but he improved as a quarterback. He was able to dissect the defense, audible, set the line. Later in the year, yes, Prince, I believe that got better. Prince, you know what it started to get better? I thought it started to get better in the Baltimore game, Pittsburgh game. You started seeing him setting protections and moving around in the pocket better. Okay? If Jalen Hurts throws the way he did in the Super Bowl 57 season, and Saquon goes for 1,500, we will go to an undefeated season. We're untouchable offensively. That's a true statement. How about this, Damon? If Jalen Hurts plays the way he did in the Super Bowl from week 1 to week 20, and Barkley goes for 1,500 yards, you'll go undefeated. Depending on the defense. Depending on what that defense does. Dude, I said it to you, and I've been saying it the last couple weeks. The NFL season was over after the bye. It was theoretically over. No one knew it yet. They were never challenged. Who challenged them? Carolina? That was more of an Eagle thing. There wasn't one game where you walked away from, man, they were lucky to win. The only reason you said maybe they were lucky to win was why. And the games they lost, you were like, drop pass. The weather, the injuries with the Bucs. Right? Nope. You didn't come out of a game going, that team's going to be, the only team we really probably said that, and we didn't even know if the Rams were going to be good after you plastered them at SoFi. We didn't even know that. But coming out of that bye, once they gave the ball to Barkley, and I'll say it again, Barkley should have been the most valuable player. I voted for Saquon Barkley for the NFL honors most valuable player. I didn't vote for Josh Allen. I voted for Saquon Barkley. Barkley was the player of the year. And as a matter of fact, you can make the argument the guy in Baltimore was the better quarterback. Okay? They don't talk about all the comeback and close wins from last year. Clutch. Dude, clutch with the 30th ranked passing game. Okay? Bro, you're new to the show. Okay? You don't know who. I posted the fucking vote and put it out there on my Twitter page, you asshole. When I get votes on anything, Heisman Trophy, which I do vote, the NFL honors, because I'm an NFL alumni, I get a vote on the honors awards for Player of the Year, Coach of the Year. Also, I vote for on the what is it? Xander, what's the name of that thing you guys did? The Maxwell Awards for NFL Coach of the Year, the Burt Bell MVP. And I voted Barkley, and he won it, the Burt Bell Award for the most valuable player. What does my love have to do with Allen on who I thought was more deserving? I don't do that because I was jobbed out of awards and honors. Because I like somebody doesn't mean I'll fucking vote for somebody. What an asinine thing to say. I would vote for someone because I like that player more over the player that's more deserving. Not here. I have never done that. I voted for Tebow, and I hate the fucking Gators. Okay? I can't help it. He's the best player in the league. It's hard to go to the Super Bowl in 22 only to go into 23 and beat up on teams and go 10-2. You're telling half the story again. And expect not to have a meltdown. You were never that team. Get this. You guys have such short-term memories. I was telling you at 10-2, you weren't that team. You weren't that team. You weren't that team. You weren't that team. So I'm 1-1. Actually, I'm 2-1 because I told you who you were in 21. I actually told you who you were in 22. You're going to Super Bowl. So I'm actually 3-1. You have short-term memories. Sileo is always wrong. Not the case. The 4 years I've been talking Eagle football, I've been right 3 of the 4 years. That's okay. Hey, you won the Super Bowl. Phenomenal. I shocked the hell out of everybody. Nobody knew if Barkley had anything, if he wasn't going to get hurt, the defense, all of that. Congratulations. It was unbelievable. Different team, different story. Did Barkley get Offensive Player of the Year? Yes, he did. Okay, yes. So here, Big Sills wants to see this in 25. Prince has got great takes. Sills, what's the best quality a quarterback can have? I'll move on to the rest of your question. I think smarts. I'll have it. I'll answer it for you. It's confidence. Okay? Confidence is, yeah, cool. Jalen Hurts has that now. I think Jalen Hurts has always had that. I don't think you get that by winning a game. I think you're born with that. I think you're not giving the player enough credit for the internal engine and what he is and what drives him. You think one game gave him confidence? That's absurd. That's like saying a 5-interception game would not give him the confidence to go back out there and keep throwing the ball. That's ridiculous. You're born with that. You're born with leadership. You're either a leader or you're a waiter. Plain and simple. You're either a leader or a waiter. Okay? There's no getting around it. I don't think one game makes you any more of a leader. Well, man, we got a lot of great confidence because we won that game. Dog, if one game determines whether or not you're not trusting your process, it's about process. It's not about one particular game. You've got to believe in your process. Oh, okay. On this, you're talking about the technique of the position. Feeling confident in looking at what you're seeing with landmarks and situations like that. Yeah, okay. You're more confident when you come to the line of scrimmage, and you're more confident on what you're seeing, right? Not confidence in your game, but confidence in what you're seeing with the knowledge of the game. So you're talking about more about the knowledge of the game. Got it. You're right. The more you play, the more you do, the more reps you get, especially in high-quality games, the better you get. Okay? Yes. I mean, absolutely true. So I wrote these things down that I want to see in 25 here. Okay? This is what I want to see. How much does Hurts and Patulo mesh? I can't wait to see the conversations, how Jalen approaches each drive, what they're going to do, how they're going to approach every team, how they're going to look at every single play, how they're going to diagram, how they're going to go to the line of scrimmage. What type of freedoms is he going to have? Audible in the passing? Are they going to throw more across the middle? Are they going to go to more fullback? Are they going to go and start the season out? Let me ask you this. Would you start the season out running the ball or more balance? What would you do? You're playing a team that can't stop the run in week 1. You're playing a team that kind of stopped the run in week 2. Against the Cowboys, I want to see 35 carries. I don't care who carries the ball. I want to see 35 runs. See this guy right here? Why in the world would you throw the ball against a football team that can't stop the run? And give the opportunity for teams to have this guy here. See this guy, Josh? Wants the Eagles to help the Cowboys stay in the game with incomplete passes, potential turnovers, when some of the strength of the Cowboys is their secondary. So he wants to play into the strength of the Cowboys. He says it was a joke. Awesome, because it is a joke. But just guess what, Josh? A lot of people would say they want to see the ball go deep. It's time for phase 2 of the offense. Developmental phases he's talking. Prince, you're killing it, man. It's good stuff. Me personally, with all the new faces on defense, I'm starting out running the ball. Kyle, you start out running the ball. Do you guys not agree? The number one thing you want to do right now, early in the season, is do what? You want to limit the amount of reps for the defenders. You don't want them playing on the field, and you don't want 3 and outs. The worst thing that you can have, do you not agree that after you guys were 10-2 and 23, and the offense started sputtering, and you had too many 3 and outs, put the defense on the field too long, defense fell apart and eroded, and before you know it, you were getting murdered by teams like Arizona. That's what happened to you. Offense lost their rhythm. I would like to see us return TDs on special teams. I can't remember the last time that's happened. But all those special teams guys now, Jeff, are now being elevated to your second team. So your special teams, it's a good point. How many people believe your special teams is going to be a good unit this year? I think that's where you're going to struggle a lot. I think you're going to struggle a ton. Why? Well, those players are now being elevated to second team. More regression, more younger players are going to be asked Hey, just because you're a good athlete and you're a good football player doesn't mean you're going to translate from the college game into the NFL because you were good at Memphis. If the Eagles can go back-to-back this year, us fans will be insufferable. And elite! Sills better hope we don't crow play. Why would I not want you to go back to a Super Bowl? Because if you guys, hypothetically, let me give it to you guys here on what kind of fan base I know you are. I saw it in year one covering you. If you ever started the season out 2-5, you would fucking hide. You would hide under your desk and under your beds. Because you did. When you were like 2-4, 2-5, whatever that thing was, you were under your fucking beds. You were hiding. I saw you hiding. You were 2-4, 2-5. I'm not going on that fucking Sileo show to hear that shit. No way. He is going to murder me, which is true. I will. I can't take that. You guys were all hiding under your chairs. Xander was producing the show. He's like, shit. You think we should fire fucking Sirianni? I was with him. They turned the play calling over and it changed the room. Sills, I just realized that the Chiefs had our 2023 season last year, but they went to the Super Bowl. We won a lot of one-score games, but we didn't have the right coaches and had a meltdown. You didn't remember what I said last year or that 23 season, Prince, if you remember right. You didn't have problem solvers. You just didn't have the problem solvers. You got them now. By the way, Prince, I'll say this. I do think Nick's learning. I think both Jalen Hurts, Prince, follow me here. Do you agree that Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni and Nick are learning how to deal with multiple coordinators? It's not just Jalen. It's Nick too. Do you agree? Because the coach and the quarterback are tied here with this. So Nick and Jalen. How about this? How many times do you think that Nick Sirianni has been in a situation where every year the coordinator's been changed out as a coach? Probably not many. He had Frank Reich with him the whole time. Just about, right? Wherever Frank went, he went. So they had that relationship. To see new dudes every year had to be a wobble for him. Fuck, another guy? Not another guy. Who do you think it affected more? Could have been Nick. 23, it surely looked like Nick was, and then it bled into Hurts. That's why people were angry at Nick in 23. Nick didn't handle the coordinator changes. Jalen kind of went along with it, but Jalen's grown. I think Nick has too. I think they both have gotten better with that whole dynamic. I don't think that that's something that's easy either. Dude, you get two different personalities. Jalen is more like Tony Dungy. Stoic. You know, never too high, never too low. He says quirky, stupid shit, but it's okay. Nick is emotional. I mean, fuck, man. The number one assistant coach on your sidelines is not Jeff Stoutland, and it's not Vic Fangio. It's Big Dom. Hey, Nick. Okay? Nick. Doc made them talk it out during the bye week. Okay? Senor, could have been. Bro, most of this shit is about communication. So I want to see Hurts and Patulo. But hey, who do you think will be? I mean, look, I want to see not only Hurts and Patulo, I want to see Patulo and Nick. Who do you guys get more questions on? Patulo and Hurts or Patulo and Nick? Who do you guys are you going to keep an eye on more? Look, Nick's more of a loose cannon than Jalen is. Jalen's not a loose cannon. If you told me what's the one thing that you think about with loose cannon, Hurts' face would not ever pop up. It would never pop up. Okay? It's Patulo and Nick. Okay? Patulo and Jalen. Nick and Patulo have been together since the Colts days. Completely different roles, though. Head coach and coordinator. This is the first time that dynamic has ever happened. Hey, let me ask you something, Preston. You help me out on this. Do you believe that Jeff Stoutland is a great coach? How many people in here believe that Jeff Stoutland's a great coach? How many people believe Jeff Stoutland's a great coach? Of course. Hold on. Watch this. Absolutely. Hall of Famer. I do. Look at all this. Okay. Well, let's ask you this. How do you think Jeff Stoutland would be as a head coach? Why don't you just look over down to your coordinator, Vic Fangio? He got fired as a head coach. If he's so great, what happened? If Vic Fangio is such a great coach, how come he got fired as a head coach? Oh, wait a minute. Not his role. Let me write this down. Not his role. Horrible. Different roles. Okay? Personnel. Okay? Head coach, okay? Head coach manages coaches in the building, not developing players. Different strokes for different folks. Well, isn't that what's going on here with Kevin Patulo now being elevated to an offensive play caller? He's not just a quarterback coach or a passing game coordinator. He's now got to deal with tight end coaches, wide receiver coaches. He's got to deal with Stoutland. He's got to manage the offense. Isn't that a different role? How do you know that works? How do you know he's going to get along? Because he's been in the building? You know, when a guy wears the main headset and the call becomes his, not every guy's going to always be on the same page. Being a play caller versus being a passing game coordinator are completely different roles. As being a coordinator and head coach is a different role. To assume that's just going to be an easy transition, you've never been in the room and seen it. So many head coaches get fired because the organization doesn't set them up for success. Right. Okay. What was Brian Johnson's problem? Your team has got great success. They've got a great culture. Why did Desai and Brian Johnson fail, Prince? Why did they fail? Organization set up for success. You had just come off a Super Bowl run and 2 plays away from winning it. What happened? Guys put in different roles? Right? You hired from outside, Desai, and you elevated from within with Johnson. Johnson was predictable. That's the one thing Kellen Moore had working for him. All the game tape that he ever had in Dallas and in Los Angeles with the Chargers, nobody had game tape on him for running the ball. What an advantage he had. He was a coordinator for 5 years. All he did was play action and the quarterback making plays from the pocket. There was no game tape on how he approached by just turning around and running the ball 35 to 38 times. He had no game tape. Nobody knew what to expect except the previous games. And that's why they didn't know what to expect in Philly. A year ago, nobody knew anything that Kellen Moore was going to do. Why? All of the tape that he had ever put together with Dak, he had never coached a guy who was a run threat. Who? Who did he ever have? Who did he ever have that was a dual threat dude? None. Then all of a sudden, he takes the ball out of the quarterback's hands. I guarantee you, if you're a coordinator and you were going against Kellen Moore a year ago, you were going into football games based off the 3 previous games because there was no historical tape. You could go back on Vic for 40 years. You could go and get 40 years of tape on Vic and go on the internet. There's years of Vic Fangio's defenses and his schemes and what he did. Kellen Moore took his playbook up, ripped it up, and they created their own on-the-spot playbook for Barkley and Hurts and AJ and Devontae, and no one knew what to expect. He had never had an offense like he did in his entire 6 years being a coordinator in the NFL. You think that's an advantage? I know what to expect from Vic Fangio. Too high, 10 yards off the ball defense. He wants to play in that box, in that zone. He wants active linebackers. He wants guys who can set the edge and people who can stop the run. I know who that guy is. I know his DNA. And Kellen Moore changed his DNA right on the spot. See this here? This is where Moore got smart. Remember the first 4 games? They started all that fucking crazy motion. They were running all over the field. After the bye, you didn't know what to expect. That shit all went away. So if you're a coordinator, you're looking only at the last 3 games. Well, shit, what are they going to do on 3rd and 8? What are they going to do? You had no history. When you get a game plan, this is what you do. You get previous games you've played against them. You go back the last 3 games. You watch all the tape on the games, like early in the season. After that bye, nobody knew what the Eagles were going to do. Are they going to throw it? Are they going to throw it? You're not going to have that advantage this year. Kellen Moore had a huge advantage because Kellen Moore changed his game plan and ripped his playbook up. Remember what Jalen Hurts said? The playbook is 95% different. The first 4 games were an indicator of that. They said, fuck it. Ripped it up, and they created something on the fly. Okay? Last year was not the Jalen Hurts offense. It was the Barkley offense. Stop doing that. Stop fucking lying. But Hurts had to be cool with it, and he was. Get this, folks. Do me a favor. Name me one quarterback that Kellen Moore ever coached that was a dual threat quarterback. Name me one. Name me one quarterback. Fuck, he had Phillip Rivers in Los Angeles. He had Dak Prescott in New York and Dallas. Prescott's not a play. Prescott is a play action guy. He's not a running quarterback. Nobody in their right mind would say that a guy who throws the ball 600 times a year is a running quarterback. Yeah, look at this. Let me show you here. When Kellen Moore was the OC in Dallas, here's a prime example of it. Look at this. When Prescott was in Dallas, 596, 526, 500, 580. Some running quarterbacks. He's a guy that's a play action. 277 rushing, 300 rushing, 146. The year he had, get this, the year in 21, his best year as a quarterback, actually 23, what was it? Year he led the NFL in passing. What was the year he had the most touchdown passes? I think that was the 2019. 596. He had 30 TD passes. One year he led the NFL with 36 in 2023. And that year, he had 242 yards rushing. Not quite a dual threat dude. So don't let anybody tell you he was. Who did he ever coach that was a dual threat? None. He ripped his playbook up and changed everything, giving him the advantage. They must have had a really great conversation. Everything we're doing is wrong. Let's go counter. Barkley looks like he's doing a great job. Let's see what we can do running the ball with this great O-line. That's what they did. And they completely caught people off guard. And the league, and then in the process, they realized the league is not set up to stop the run. That's why this year you'll be favored in every fucking game with that O-line. So I think everyone's missing the point. It's not the scheme, it's the personnel. Correct. Defenses aren't built to play against a power scheme. Completely what I've been saying. Thank you, Luther. You have found a weakness in the league, not a weakness in teams. In the league, the game is played in space. Okay? With smaller players, like Luther's saying, smaller linebackers. It is so played in space. You can't stop that running attack. There is, like the first game of the year against the Cowboys. What are you thinking? Throwing balance? I don't want balance. You know what my balance is going to be? Running right or left. I think Brian Johnson might be really good one that got away. He has Jaden looking like a top quarterback. Brian Johnson's not a bad coach. I'd like to have seen Brian Johnson with another year with Jalen. But they would not have gone to a running attack. They would have stuck to their guns because of the way they built the team and the way they're spending money on the team. They would not. Now, maybe because Hurts, remember something. In 23 games, Hurts had 26 turnovers. Dating back to 23 in the beginning of 2024. He had 26 turnovers in 23 games. He was turning the ball over at a massive rate. They were not going to win. They were not going to win. They were just not. They ripped the playbook up, started anew. It's exactly what they did. I mean, by the way, it's smart football. There's about 2 to 3 teams that can actually stop the run without selling out. And the Chiefs aren't one of them. They got a good corner that can help that. But can I tell you, RC3, can I tell you what more was a fact? What do you guys think was more of a factor in that Kansas City ass kicking that the Eagles gave them? Who did they miss the most, Kansas City? What player did they miss the most? True. What player did they miss the most? There you go. Snead. They missed Snead on the other side to control the secondary. They didn't miss Hill. They missed Snead. And Pacheco would be second because they had no play action. Absolutely true. No question about it. I mean, guys, the approach was so well. Like, here, the first 4 games, that's not going to determine your season. But it's going to determine how you're going to look, I think, in the back end of your season. Run the ball. The only team in that front 4 games that I would think could stop the run and give you any kind of issue would be Tampa because of Vita Vea and because of their linebackers and because of Todd Bowles. The Rams, they got a nose in there, maybe. Okay? Kansas City's got an exceptional coordinator. Is that going to be enough? I don't know. Jalen needed time to pick up Kellen's playbook and the language. Get this. That's not true. Because he said it was 95% different. Dude, they started out with fucking motions all over the place. Green Bay, I didn't know what they were doing. Motion here. It was tipping off teams on the motion. Do you remember what Brian Johnson was doing with his motion when they started that stupid stuff? They would motion a wide receiver to halfway middle of the field. That let the other teams know that it was zone. They were so predictable. Okay? Rashee Rice, you're trying to tell me he needs him? I don't know. Rashee Rice is a dude. I wouldn't make Rashee Rice sound like he's Devontae Adams. He's a dude. I mean, the fuck are you kidding? Okay? Here, I want to get back because I'm gonna ask these questions. By the way, before I get going here with my boy Big Z, you know who the number 1 ranked team is in the state of Pennsylvania? Did you see that? St. Joe's Prep is number 1 in the state of Pennsylvania. Number 2 is LaSalle. Number 3 is Malvern. Look at this, man. Look at all these Number 4 is Central Catholic. Number 5 is Harrisburg. Those are your top 5 teams in the state of PA. You know why I keep an eyeball on that? Down in my garage, I found my Big 33 jacket. How you doing? Big Sills was in that Big 33. Aye. Yeah. All good, man. You got a St. Joe's Prep. That's Big Z's hookup. That's his place. All right. Without further ado. Hey, man, I'll tell you what. I turned on Jeff Kerr and Big J-Mac today, man. I'll tell you. I was like, who's that? Fucking Dan Sileo 1 and Dan Sileo 2? Holy shit. Got to get a little optimism going here, man. Tomorrow camp starts for the Eagles. Oh, by the way, real quick, who am I? Here again, I'm going to do it again. You ready? Who am I? Who am I? Holy shit, like a wing house wings. And you want to win. Hey, that's like the championship of the wing house. If you win the wing bowl, you get that thing that pops out like this. I don't. All right. Without further ado, hit that like button, my freakazoids. We appreciate all of you coming aboard. The co-host, the Birds 365, who is now in the same conversation with Jimmy Johnson, the great NASCAR man. And on top of that, he is going to be like Tony Stewart from now on, going all NASCAR games. And he's going to have a little twang to him. How you doing here on Birds 365? He is my friend, Big Z, Xander Krause.
What up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
How did you like the event, man, over the weekend when you went to NASCAR?
Pretty awesome, man. It was really dope to get that type of point of view, too, that type of access that my boy Gary got me from JAKIB. So it was incredible, dude. I got to see all behind the scenes, all the pit lane, all the garages. I got to go in there. I saw the Space Force car up close. I met a couple drivers up close. It was really a cool experience for somebody that likes cars, appreciates cars. And then you see how loud them suckers are going around the Monster Mile in Dover. So it was a great weekend, a great experience, and a big thanks to Gary Sexton who sent me. He's Dirty Air on JAKIB. So big thanks to him.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think the fans get a great understanding on those embankments. Yeah. Like if you put a basketball at the top of that embankment,
oh my gosh,
that thing would come rolling down. I don't think you really do get a shot with that slingshot is coming off them turns like that. I mean, yeah, to me it was the noise, Xander. I couldn't believe how loud it was.
Yeah. The other thing is this, like Kyle, I'm not mad at you for saying it, but a lot of people say this, like, oh, they're making another left turn. And really. I'm like, yeah, I thought that too. And then I went there and their average speed's 160 miles an hour. And they got car in the front, car in the rear, 3 coming up the right and left side. And I'm like, yeah, you can think that's just a left turn all you want. That's not easy to do. That's a high stress environment. So it was really cool to see that, man. I got some great footage too. Great footage of the event.
Absolutely awesome. Make sure you check it out on Xander's Garage. I'm sure you're going to post it over there.
Yeah, I'm going to post some stuff up there for sure. Yep.
Make sure you guys check it out. All right. 2025, the most interesting part of the team will be what to you?
Well, it's the defense. I mean, well, you could make an argument it's the offense, the evolution of the offense, but I think overall it is the defense. You got all the changes there. They were so good last year. You know, they kind of were a highly talked about, highly covered defense, and obviously played a big part in the reason that the Eagles dominated, not just won the Super Bowl, but dominated the Super Bowl against 2 of the best offensive minds, really of this generation. So the defense for me is the big one, but I'm more confident than John. I'm more confident than Kerr. I'm more confident than Sileo. I mean, these guys are acting like we haven't had good youngsters coming up the pipeline for the last 4 years. We got some guys. We got guys that, yes, they're unproven as of now, but talk to me in week 12, week 14, week 16 when they're the great stories of this season. So I feel much better than most do about it, but they are the one storyline.
I don't feel anyway.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, wait, no, I don't feel anyway. I didn't feel any way. I feel like Vic right now.
You got him outside the top 10, right?
Right now until they prove that they are top 10, yeah. I'm not going to put fortune teller cookies on the table, crack one open and go, I believe that they're going to be a top 5 team.
All right, well, I am.
Okay,
that's called making a take.
That's a fortune cookie take. That's not.
What do you mean? Saying Jalen Hurts isn't going to pass for 4K's fortune cookie too.
Okay. You asked me what I thought of this. Well, wait, I've been consistent. He'll never pass for $4,000 if they want to win, because that's not what they are. By the way, I don't know if they're going to be good or bad.
You're going McMullen on me. You don't want to speculate anything anymore. You're going McMullen. Don't tell me I got two McMullens now.
How in the world could you make a prediction on a team right now with 5 new starters, which, by the way, I've been 1,000% consistent on, that you have, what was my word? Blowtorch the defense. I have not wavered on that. I don't know. You took 5 guys out, and here, the defensive turn. Here's why I have questions on you repeating. Do you believe or not they're playing a tougher schedule? Yes or no?
Yeah, well, they are for sure.
Okay.
Objectively. Well, you could say that that's a little fortune cookie too, because there's so much change in the NFL. Maybe some of the teams who were good last year aren't so good, but yeah, on paper they got a good schedule, tough schedule.
Defensive turnover and regression in experience
is what?
One of the reasons that you may not repeat.
Oh, that's definitely one of the reasons for sure. If they didn't repeat, that would be one of them. I agree with that. I don't think it's going to come to fruition.
Oh, so, okay. So you're under the belief now in July 21, you believe that those guys are going to be able to replace all them guys.
And I believe the Eagles are going to go back and win another Super Bowl this year.
Okay.
I think they're going to have a really good chance to do that. I don't think they can do that with a shitty defense. So I am predicting maybe not that Keely Ringo's an all-pro, but I think that they're going to be good enough players for Vic and the defensive players around them to prevail and thrive.
Do you think Barkley's going to be 2024 Barkley?
I think 80% of that, 85% of that. I think he's probably going to end up with 1,700 yards in the regular season. I don't know if he runs for 2K again. Maybe he does with the postseason involved or combined. But I don't know. I like what Luther brought up. I mean, Luther in the chat before I came on the show today had a great comment. I don't know if I can go back and find it, but basically everybody's missing it. It's not about what the Eagles lost. It's about they've exploited where the NFL has gone defensively.
That's right.
And they got small linebackers, small edge rushers, and the Eagles got these bulldozer offensive linemen, these insanely athletic, strong, monstrous tackles. They got bulldozers in the middle and Landon and even Cam. And they got Saquon Barkley, who's one of the the fastest, most elusive backs, really one of the best playmaking backs in the sport. So I feel like that's a pretty good take as well.
I do. I absolutely do. I think they caught the NFL with their draws down. And the fact that, if you think about it, the NFL is set up to stop the passing game. Look where they spend the money in the equity, at corners and edge.
Right.
They don't spend it in the heart of the defense like Philly did. So, okay. How about this one here? So do you believe going from – why didn't Vic Fangio make it as a good head coach in Denver?
I don't know. Is he too cutthroat, too straightforward? Doesn't play the political game you see Sirianni playing? I don't know. Maybe doesn't relate with the younger player when he's the head guy versus when he's the coordinator. You kind of get that offset with the way that the head coach is. So he's allowed to be that stricter, old school defensive guy. I think he's made to be a coordinator. I really do. I don't think his head coaching stint was a knock on Vic. I get it. It didn't look great. But I do think he's one of those guys that he is, in my eyes, he's built to be a defensive coordinator, especially in today's game where he's bringing that old school experience to a game that so desperately needs some of that, especially on the defensive side of the football. And I think that's why our defense had such an advantage last year, because not only did you have the teacher and the coordinator in Vic, but I believe you had young players who bought into what he was teaching, young players who had the mentality and the attitude to approach each day with an open mind as a sponge, learn and enact what Vic wanted them to do, and the belief in one another. I think Vic showed belief in the young players. They showed belief right back in him, and that's what created such a great defense last year. So I believe, it works really well with this team, I believe, Vic.
Okay. Let me ask you about Stoutland. You think Stoutland's a great coach, right? Of course.
Of course, yeah. Great position coach.
Okay. Do you think he'd be a great head coach?
I can't say that. I mean, I can't say that. I have no clue. I'd like to think he would, because of the way you hear the way his offensive linemen speak about him. I mean, Mekhi Becton cried talking about it. You know what I mean? So if you have a coach that can make a player feel like that, and so I don't know what you would comp it to. You'd probably have a better comp as somebody that played football at a super high level. It almost makes it feel like he's you're another son of his or something, in some regard, with no disrespect to these people's parents. But, I feel like he has that ability. So maybe he could be a good head coach.
Okay. So all that being said, how are you so confident that Kevin Patulo is going to go from being a passing coordinator to being an offensive coordinator if that transition is tough for being a coordinator to head coach, position coach to being not just a passing coordinator, but he's got to deal with the tight end coach now, wide receiver coach. He's got to deal with the head coach, the relationship with those
Yeah,
two
no,
guys.
it's true.
When you're making the – don't you – how about Nick going from head coach? Do you think Nick kind of bounced a little bit going from coordinator to head coach his first year?
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying with this, but the difference, I think, is one, that it's not as big as a head coach. The jump, obviously, to a coordinator, I don't think it's as big to a jump as the head coach would be in terms of your comparisons. And the other thing I think is that Kevin Patulo has been building his career to become a coordinator and maybe a head coach one day, versus Vic is on the other side of trying all those things out and settled back in as a defensive coordinator and said openly, this is going to be my last stop. I don't want to be a head coach. Like, I'm not looking for a promotion. And Jeff Stoutland, who, I mean, I don't know, he's been a position coach for how many years here in Philly?
By the way, those guys are all spectacular at what they do.
No, they're great. So I'm saying, I don't know if Jeff Stoutland approached the game with, I want to be this one day. I want to be an offensive coordinator one day. He maximized what he did. I think Kevin tried to build his career and hone his skills with the expectation or the desire to get to this level. And I actually think that has a big part in it. You know, if you're looking to get to the next level, you watch things differently. You learn things differently. You teach things differently. You grow differently as a person, versus if you're Stoutland and you know, I don't want to be a head coach. I don't want to be a coordinator. I want to be an offensive line coach. You maximize that. And I think Kevin's, it's a little bit of a different circumstance, but I think Patulo is in a pretty good spot.
Let me tell you, being a position coach and being a guy calling plays is night and day.
Well, Patulo wasn't really a position coach.
I'm sorry?
Patulo wasn't really a position coach.
Well, what was he? He was a passing coordinator, right?
He was pass game coordinator, but he was also assistant head coach, I believe he was, before he was this role. Let me look up exactly what his title was.
Career.
So he was pass game coordinator and associate head coach.
Right.
So I don't know. That's kind of what I mean, though. Like they were trying to build him, I think, more to be able to handle the other parts of it that you need. But I hear you. It is still
grooming him. You think they were grooming him for this role?
A little bit more so, yes. Yes, for lack of a better word. I think a little bit more so.
Why didn't they elevate him over Brian Johnson when they had the chance to elevate him?
That's a good question. It's a good question. Maybe they trusted Brian. Maybe it was a Jalen Hurts thing. Brian and Jalen were really close. And I think at the time, you know, I think Patulo at them was just the pass game coordinator. So you don't go from – I think the better jump is – well, you can make the argument they could have went with Patulo over Johnson. But I don't know. It felt like Brian Johnson was like the next guy, you know, in that offensive huddle. No, you know, Patulo was a little bit quieter, more behind the scenes then. But I don't know the answer to your question of why they went with him over Patulo.
Yeah, because somebody said something to me, and I go, if he's so great, and he's in the same role for the last 3 years, why did they go with Johnson over him?
Well, you understand that there's benefit in development.
No. There's
right? Like Brian Johnson would probably know more now as a coordinator 2 years later than he would then.
Look at Jaden Daniels. Absolutely, he would now. He's
right.
the pass coordinator for the Washington Commanders.
And the quarterback. Is he the quarterback coach again?
He's quarterback coach and passing coordinator there in Washington with Jaden Daniels, who had the Rookie of the Year. So, I mean, I think that guy, I don't think he's a bad coach. I think he was put in a bad situation. So here's my second one here for you. Will A.J. Dillon help Barkley?
I'm worried about those neck stingers, man. I'm worried about those neck stingers. He missed all last year. The season before that, he played most of the year, took his first neck stinger late in the year. It was either late December or in a playoff game with the Packers. Then he was shut down for the year after the neck stinger. Then he went into training camp the following year, so about this time of the next season. And he got a stinger in the first week of training camp. And then that kept him out for the entire year. So you're talking about the last 2 times that A.J. Dillon has been on the field for extended periods. He is left with the neck stinger. 2 of them. He's a running back that made his money, buttered his bread on being a physical guy.
Yeah.
So I got concerned with him in that sense. And I think A.J. Dillon, in theory, yes, would help A.J. Brown a lot. But I'm not sure, or not A.J., Saquon Barkley a lot. but I'm not sold that he's going to be healthy all year. And I hope he is, because I do think he'd be a great addition. I like him a lot more than I like Kenny Gainwell, but Kenny Gainwell doesn't have neck stinger problems. And I'm pretty sure Kenny Gainwell will be healthy, if all things go right. So I don't know about A.J. Dillon, but I think if he's out there, he'd be a help for sure.
So here's another one here. How do you feel about the wide receiver room after 2? After Smith, how do you feel about it when number 3 wide receiver had 43 attempts with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys, and with Dotson having 19 catches?
Well, remember, I'm not like...
It's not a utilized role. I get it.
Yeah, it's not. Well, that's A. And B is... Remember, Jahan Dotson did get here last year at the end of training camp. Not the beginning, not halfway through. They traded for him after all the preseason games and right on the doorstep of the start of the season. So there was no acclimation period for him other than these are the route concepts, and you're now the guy running them instead of whoever else you replaced, Queasy Watkins or whatever the hell it was. That was it. So that was the only acclimation period. Now I feel like at the very least, there is the benefit of playing with him, knowing him, learning his tendencies between him and Jalen, I'm talking. And I think that will help him. Now, I don't know how many catches he's going to get. I don't think he's not a talented player. Like, I don't think he didn't show me last year. Right. He didn't show me last year like, oh, geez, even if he gets a bigger role, we're screwed. It was more just he didn't get the ball at all.
He's the best 3 that they've had in the series.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's better than Quez. I think he's better than, Hightower. He's better than –
more reliable.
Yeah, all the – what's that one guy? Zach Pascal. I think he's better than those guys. So I'm good with Jahan Dotson. I think he's going to have a better year than he had last year. Not by much, but if he had more – what'd you say he had? How many catches last year?
19.
19? Oh, geez. That's low.
And
I'll give him like 35. I think
and they
35.
had 43 for the entire group.
Right. I think 30 to 35 catches for Dotson this year might be good.
That's a lot.
You think so?
I do. I think
that doesn't feel like a lot to me, but
well, maybe again too, Xander. You got to remember that, they're either going to go to more fullback this year or they're going to utilize 3. I think they're going to do more fullback this year than they are going to be thrown to the 3 wide out. I think they're going to go more to a power game this year.
So,
how many tight ends?
I'll be curious to see if they do that, because that would really be I mean, remember the owner kind of referenced that. Do you remember that? Yeah, earlier this offseason. So that would be a big switch, man, from what this organization has tried to become for the last 20 years, which I would give them credit for, because shit, do what you got to do to win. I'm in a business that thrives on that. You got to evolve. You got to change. You got to make different things. You know what I mean? If you want to win. So I'm good with that, but it would definitely be a big switch from what Lurie has always strived for.
How many tight ends do you think they're going to keep?
3. I think it's going to be him. I think it's going to be Goddard. I think it's going to be Calcaterra, and maybe one more guy. Now, if you're looking at that Bryant guy as a guy who could be a fullback, maybe another one. But how are you going to keep him? You got Van Sumeren. I guess they're going to move Van Sumeren to the defensive side.
If you have 3 and you're going to keep a fullback.
How many did they keep last year?
They had 2.
They only kept 2?
They had 2. They had Calcaterra and they had Goddard. Then they activated one off the practice squad. They had 2.
Well, that's why that Bryant guy's interesting, because if they do use a fullback, he can do
power
both.
Game.
Or what?
More a power game.
Yeah.
Well,
Bryant, I think Bryant's the guy who can do that. So maybe JD3 is right about Harrison Bryant. Because he can do the tight end 3 and he can kind of do the fullback. Now, I don't know if he's the best fullback, but I don't know. That's interesting. I'm going to be watching that. Are they going to really use a fullback more this year? That'd be interesting.
I think
Van Sumeren,
going to see more of that.
Van Sumeren's a good option at that too. But I think they changed his position to a defensive guy, maybe for roster purposes.
See, I think they're going to keep 2 tight ends and they're going to have a fullback. And the reason they're only going to keep 2 tight ends is because you're going to keep more of a power game. I think it's going to be – get this. I would not be shocked if Calcaterra doesn't make the club. I mean, because if I'm going to run the ball, he's not somebody that
I see what you're saying. I want a more versatile tight end there versus a pass catcher.
Right. If Barkley's on now, wait a minute. If you've got a guy who catches the ball and runs, I'm going to have Calcaterra on the team because give me another pass option. But if I'm going to be a power team with a fullback,
right,
I'm not keeping Calcaterra on my team.
Yeah, I think he's going to get in because of seniority and because Jalen's familiar with him. And he did. Goddard, by the way, misses how many games a year, and you already know you've had him, there when Goddard's missed. So I feel like they're going to keep Calcaterra, but I don't. I see your line of thinking. It's not out in left field for me.
How is Jeff Stoutland going to shuffle the old line rotations now with? How is that going to look? I'm not talking about the top guys. I'm talking about the guys on swings now. Are you going to do Tyler Steen as a tackle? Are you going to keep him as a guard if he does? What if that guy doesn't win the job? How are you going to utilize him? Because he's not terrible. If he doesn't win, that just means the kid prior, who I think is going to win that job. Does Tyler Steen become a swing guard and tackle?
Maybe.
Some of the young kids. How is Jeff going to do that? I'm going to be very interested to see, because to me, I think Kenyon Green is not going to make the roster.
I don't think so either, because if you look at the offensive line room, it's actually, despite 4 or 5 starters coming back and the guard spot being kind of limited to maybe a couple guys, 2 or 3 players, pick and choose whatever ones you like. That's actually going to be a contested room to get down, to make cuts in, because they got Trevor Keegan from last year. They got the 3 draft picks this year that they love. Miles Hinton, Cam, what's his name? Is it Williams? I forget. And then they got Drew Kendall. And then you got Pryor, Steen. You got who's going to be your swing tackle, who replaces Fred. Who I don't know. Drew Kendall you're going to keep because he can play guard and center. So there's actually a lot of bodies in that room. Then you got that undrafted guy who kind of is more Mekhi Becton-like. Well, I forget his name. The guy from Rutgers. So there's a lot of players in that room, actually. Offensive lineman.
That guy, that Leakin kid, is that his name?
Leakin, yeah, it's not going to be him. Cam Williams, thank you, Kyle. That was the name I was forgetting.
Okay.
And then who's the Rutgers guy I'm missing? The Rutgers guy is that big dude. He's like 6'8" or 6'8". Holland Pierce. Thank you, CZ. Thank you, CZ. That's Holland Pierce. Yeah. So there's a lot of bodies there, man. A lot of guys there.
Okay. So let's go over to this one here. Who's going to get cut at edge? Who do they keep? Let's do this. Let's do this here. How many edge rushers? By the way, guys, throw the number up. How many edge rushers did they keep a year ago? Did they have 3 active?
5, right?
5 and 3 active, didn't they? Or was it 5? They had 5.
I thought it was 5.
Okay, 5.
Wait, because remember they got rid of Johnson at the cut downs, and then the Giants picked him up. They obviously had Bryce Huff, they had Josh Sweat, they had Brandon Graham, they had Jalix Hunt, and they had Nolan Smith. So they had 5.
Okay. So we're going to go down this line here. You're keeping Smith.
Yep.
Keeping Hunt.
Yep.
You're keeping Uche.
I don't see how you cut either Uche or Ojulari. You have 2 guys. Yeah, that's 4 guys.
Okay. So then Patrick Johnson and the Ryland kid, those guys are out. But
I don't know. John thinks Ryland has a chance to make the team. And that's a big change of tune on from John, because when he got drafted, and I was all fired up about it on draft day because of his crazy college numbers, Johnny Mack basically told me to shut the F up because he's a 7th round draft pick. And now John keeps telling me he's an interesting name in camp. I'm like, where was this on draft night when I was all jacked up about him and you shit on me, John? I wasn't happy about that. So, yeah, I think APR actually has a chance because of the lack of true sack artists that they have.
See, Uche and Ojulari, okay, you would assume that those 2 guys are the backups, right?
Yeah.
Uche and Ojulari.
I don't know. Some people think Jalix versus Ojulari is a good camp battle.
Okay. So there's 4 dudes. The rest of those guys, You're keeping so you're keeping one more. Who is it?
Probably Power Island.
Patrick Johnson's gone?
Well, we didn't have Patrick Johnson last year, so
Okay.
it's not,
All right.
I'm just saying, we've already proven we can live without him, and I don't know what he brings in terms of a specialty trait standpoint. Like APR, if you have a fifth edge rusher, you either need special teams out of him or you need a specific skill set out of him to use in certain moments. I don't really know if Johnson has that. I know now Johnson, I think, can play special teams, but I think APR would be the guy because of the pass rush, skill set that he has. He was a sack artist at VT. He had a lot of freaking sacks.
He did. But okay, so if you use Jahad Campbell out there on edge, does that keep it down to 4?
Maybe. That's kind of the wild card.
Because when Campbell is starting to be used off ball and at edge, doesn't Vic have versatility there? We'll only keep 4 edge rushers.
Right.
That means that either Ojulari or Uche could be on the chopping block. One of those guys.
Well, maybe, but I think Red Lettuce is right here. Ojulari's strengths in the run game, so you know how Vic likes to play.
Yep.
Remember, Vic last year, he cared more about an edge that could, or an edge defender that could set the edge and stop the run than he did about a guy who could go after the quarterback. That's why we ended up with only 8.5 sacks for our top sack guy last year in Josh Sweat.
That's right.
So if Ojulari can set the edge and play the run, Vic Fangio is going to keep him around for sure.
Here's another one. Who will be the vocal leader in the secondary with the loss of Gardner Johnson?
I think you're going to see more Reed Blankenship. I think you're going to see more Zach Bond. I don't know if that counts as secondary. It really doesn't because he's the front 7 guy. But I do think he's kind of the line of communication between the front and the back. I think you're going to see a lot of that. I wonder if Cooper DeJean takes a step forward in that regard this year. I don't know if Q would be that guy. I could see it a little bit with Q. He's more vocal on the field than he is, in the media or in the press or anything like that.
He was talking shit to AJ.
That's what I mean. So maybe Quinion takes on some of that role, but I more view Quinion as going to be what Slay kind of was. He might be vocal out there, but I don't know if he's going to be the guy that's the communicator. Reed is going to be the communicator, but we'll see.
Now, remember something. There's a difference between being vocal and being a shit talker that creates confidence and has like a swagger to him.
Yeah, I'm going to miss that.
Communicate. I think Reed's going to communicate, but I'm talking about the shit talker that you had with an attitude back there.
Yeah. There isn't one.
How about this? Maybe the better question is who's the tone setter?
Is it Quinion? I mean, he's the only guy that talked a bunch of shit last year. It's not going to be Reed. It's probably not going to be a rookie in Makuba. It's Cooper DeJean. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen him talk much shit.
I'm going to be interested in
Fleming thinks it's Coop. I don't know. You think it's Coop?
I think it's Coop. I think he's going to be asked to do that.
So you think Coop is going to be the tone setter? I think Coop is going to be the tone setter from a playmaking perspective. I don't think Coop is going to be the.
Well, dude, when you put a guy in your back and it's Derrick Henry,
well,
but
that's what I mean in playmaking. He'll do it via making plays. So if that counts, then sure, it'll be Coop. But he's not going to get in people's faces like Gardner Johnson did. He's not going to stuff somebody at the line of scrimmage and get up and beat his chest and do all. I don't see that. I don't see that from him. But maybe.
What'd you make of those cheesy wings on the fucking ring? Like the champion of the Wing Bowl. I like the fucking ring.
Let me be honest because I didn't really give my opinion on it much this morning. I asked John in the chat about it. I see both. Like I got there's things I like a lot about it, and then there's things I really don't like about it. Like number one of things I like about it is that it's unique. Yeah. Like every sport, every guy that wins gets a ring in every sport.
Yeah.
A lot of them look pretty freaking similar.
Yeah.
with a new logo and a new amount of diamonds, and it's a big hunky ring. And that's why when people wear them in the old school, you can tell, oh, they got a championship ring on. They all look pretty similar. So I like that they added a unique element to the ring to set it apart from what other teams have done. I like that part of it. I don't like if I had the ring, that would make me a little bit like, is this going to last for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years? Like, I want that ring to last me forever. I want to look at that as a credit to what I accomplished in my career, even when I'm long, gone and maybe even out of this world and my kids have it or whatever the case would be.
Would you want to be buried with that?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't need to be buried with any jewelry. I don't give a shit. I don't need to be buried with any of these worldly belongings.
Every time when it popped out, I was like, holy shit, man. I was like,
look at them rings. Oh, at the F, it's not like you wear it on the daily. We got a perfect ring.
I know.
It's the new season started today, so you're getting shit on by Xander. Ban has effectively been lifted. All right, effective tomorrow. With the Eagles reporting to camp. But I don't know. I mean, it was all right. It's cool. It's not like my favorite thing. I'm not like, yo, the rings, they have wings. Like, it's like, all right, guys. No. It's not that fucking cool. Like, I like the diamonds in them better. I like the fact that there's 2 trophies in there better.
I don't have a problem with the ring except for the fucking wings. Other than that, it's okay, man. I mean,
like Prince. Like, yeah, Prince, do you want a ring that, like, I don't know, pops out wings? Like, do you want that? Or do you just want, like, a nice piece of bling on your finger? I don't know. I see both sides.
What's this? You fucking click a button, it pops out, and there's a naked chick that comes out of your ring. I don't know. It fucking looks really goofy.
I know. Wait, I know why you don't.
To me, it's cheesy. It's just cheesy.
I know why you don't like it.
Why?
I know why you don't like it.
Why? Tell me.
Because when you click the button to pop out the wings, you got an inscription on there from the great Nick Sirianni.
Oh, God, you're kidding me.
There's an inscription. Can't be great without the greatness of others.
Oh, my God.
And I love that quote for the ring because that truly embodies what the Eagles were last year.
The fucking Dante of coaches with a saying. Holy shit. It pops out like chicken.
Some of you guys are nerds. There's like 90 diamonds. I'm sure there's a warranty. All right, Reyes. Then fucking go buy yourself a replica on Fanatics, dude, if you really love it so bad. Holy moly. Prince.
It's a good-looking ring.
Non-swag people. Prince, shut up, Prince. Sometimes you're off your rocker.
The wings look cheesy. That's all I said.
Look at that. He says the ring is tainted because of the Sirianni quote.
Holy shit. The ring is tainted.
Come on, Dan.
Oh, my God. Oh,
I don't know. Do you guys like really love the wings that much? I'm surprised people like are taking such a hard stand. Like the rings are okay. The wings on the ring are okay. They're not like that cool.
No, the ring is great. The fucking wings are fucking cheesy.
Hey, look at this numb nuts. I'm sure if you 2 dorks were getting a ring, you would have thought the wings were cool. Shut up, senorita.
No, I wouldn't have.
The audacity of you to come in here and say that when you've showed yourself on camera on this channel. Come on, man.
Let me get a sense here.
Prince. No, you shut up. Xander, get some swag, you old lady.
Hold on here. Let me see what I got here.
Prince.
What's the value of the
I don't take it personal, bro.
25 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, they spent a pretty penny on them suckers.
Okay, so it's between 30 to 50 grand. So what? Okay, look, it's great. 30 to 50 grand. You got the fucking pop out little fucking things. It's like a skeleton that pops out of one of them.
It's a little chintzy, guys. It's a $50,000 piece of jewelry, and you got a little button that goes click. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, it's like, okay.
So let me ask you one question about your boy. Your boy said something interesting today, which I couldn't. Did the Eagles in 2025, do you believe to set up the 2025 season they did enough this year, and did they have a priority on 25, or were they more concerned about 26 and 27? According to your boy John, they were more concerned about 26 and 27. By the way, a fucking topic we brought up in April. Did they not have more of a priority? Do you think they took a priority on 26 or 27?
No, I think they prioritized where they were in the situation, given the success that they had, given the team they had built, given the contracts they had coming up. I think John's off his keister. I think he's off his rocker.
So what was the number one move they did to add to the team with the losses that helped them the most?
What happened? John saved that for the last day of the offseason, John.
But the point is,
Sileo, you're right. It was Sileo.
What did they do to improve the team externally?
What do you mean?
Okay, I'll say it again then.
They didn't do anything to it. They didn't do anything to, on paper, improve the team other than trust the development of the players they have in the room and give them the chances that they need to get.
Let's ask it differently. Do you think they lost more talent than what they're replacing the talent with?
Well, they're replacing it with young guys. I can't make that statement.
Oh, okay. So they replaced it with more unknowns.
I love how you and John.
Your take. No. It's a fucking fair question. It's not a fucking. I'm not making. By the way, I've been.
What did you take a Prince med this morning? You got your panties.
I've been on this. I've been very consistent with this the entire offseason. Do you believe that they have added to this team with the amount of losses to compensate for the losses of talent?
On paper, no.
On paper, no.
On paper, no.
On paper, teams don't win.
Well, you tell me. One guy made $26 million and left the team, and they're replacing him with a 7th-round rookie. Like this is a backhanded question. This is an impossible question to answer. He's trying to corner me. I don't allow it. In fact, I'm gonna fucking sit you over in the cuck corner. Yo, shut the fuck up. We know. They're unproven.
See, folks. When anyone resorts to that, that means you can't answer it, which means they didn't do anything. Which, like you said, they got themselves they didn't add anything except for the draft, which we still don't know.
All right,
you're starting the season with Jalen with 2 dudes on IR too. Maybe.
What about when they replaced Fletcher Cox with Jalen Carter? What about when they replaced the corner James Bradbury with Quinyon Mitchell? What about when they replaced Devontae Maddox with Cooper DeJean? Like nobody knew then either. You got to give the guys a chance. They could very well be better.
So you're giving Keely. You think Keely Ringo replaces Slay? That's what you're saying.
Wait a second. Last year you shit on Slay.
No. Whoa. Last year, Big Sills was wrong 1 year of the 4 years I've been covering your team. So let me ask you this.
That is a joke.
Let me ask you this. That's fact.
You said Jalen Hurts would never win a Super Bowl. You said that in year 1, 2, and 3.
More of my takes were right when you were telling me how great the team was at 10-1. That team.
I wasn't telling you shit. I wasn't on the air.
Okay. I was like, that team ain't good. That team is not good. Anyway,
I will give you credit for saying that.
Hey, let me say this to you. By the way, I'm not telling you right now.
It was them busty ass coordinators that
I'm not telling you that those guys are not going to be good. I'm just telling you, like I said here at the beginning of the program when I asked you these questions, and I put this out here.
So you know what this is?
The defensive turnover and the regression.
You know what this is, Sills?
I have no idea.
Is
that your waterbed?
This is about the time in the segment when Cileo's driving me nuts. The chat's being a bunch of nimrods, and I got to turn on the air unit. The window unit is going on, baby. Let's put it on.
Give me one reason why the Eagles will repeat.
Jalen Hurts is an MVP. That is in my opinion, would be the reason.
The Eagles won't repeat. Is it Jalen won't be an MVP?
No, it's probably that the defense, that Sileo and John are unfortunately correct about the defense.
I don't want them to be. I don't want to be right. I don't want to be
There you
right.
go.
No, I don't.
You've been promoting yourself as the Shohei Ohtani of things.
Oh no, well, that is true. By the way,
you don't want to be wrong, or you don't want to be. He said he doesn't want to be right. What a joke!
Hold on for a second. I love what fucking Elon Musk has in his thing about Big Sills. Calls Big Sills the most polarizing sports talk host in America. I couldn't believe that. I was like, thank you very much. That was really great. Elon Musk's boys saying that. Now I'm here to try to help you, Xander. I'm the helper. You think so you think it's because what's his name is going to be an MVP this year? Is that right?
I think if they go back and win the Super Bowl, I think he's going to be in the MVP conversation. Absolutely.
Okay. Let's read some supers before we get to JAKIB.
I think we only got a couple. Let's get to him. Kyle, what's up, Kyle? He says, who's the leader on defense now with Graham retired?
Vaughn.
Veteran. Yeah, that's a big ask for a one-year player.
All
that
pro.
Is. I mean, yeah, but Brandon Graham, I mean, that was a different level of leadership. That's 15 years in Philly.
That's also a fall-off.
That's ups, downs, in-betweens, Super Bowls, collapses, coaches, coordinators,
up and down in career,
media. Right. That's what Brandon Graham brought to the young guys on the defense.
You think they take a step back in leadership on defense?
Well, I think anytime you lose a guy like Brandon Graham, who was as vocal as he was, who had been through his mind. I mean, he was called Mr. Eagle himself for a reason. You know, I think he was more – I don't know if you'll see a guy that has that experienced of a career in Philly. I mean, he sucked in Philly. He experienced it. He was unreal in Philly. He experienced it. He reached the highest of highs by strip sacking Brady. He experienced it. Then he walked through the whole chain from Wentz to Hurts to the collapse to, the loss in 22 to now. I mean, Brandon Graham was a very experienced Eagle. I mean, he had a lot of knowledge to share with youngsters on that defense.
Are you going to say to me right here, you think that Keely Ringo is going to give the Eagle defense the same thing that Cam Jurgens gave the Eagle offense in replacing Kelsey?
I can't say that.
That's a pretty big ask, right?
That's a big ask.
Leadership too.
Now, I see where you're going with it because both Slay and Kelsey, great players. They were a little bit on the other side of their prime, right? So maybe you get a younger guy in there that has more, more physical prowess because of his age. Maybe. I think that's pretty lofty, though.
Okay. So
Fleming checks in. He says, we need some Jahan Dotson and Uchi Kuchi.
How about this, man? I think Nolan
Smith be saying that all year. I hope Uche gets cut.
Okay. Hey, listen, I think that I think Nolan Smith has a shot to take that role. I like his presence in the locker room.
But he's not as experienced as BJ. Actually, you want me to give you a bold take? I think BG could be the second or third biggest loss on the defense.
Okay, because of everything he brings to the table.
Yep. Not all play related.
Okay.
I mean, you got a young group of guys navigating a big, tough sports city. Coming off, by the way, a big win where, while awesome, it does create major expectations throughout the city. And Eagles fans are no stranger to that pressure, either making a player grow or making a player shrink. So you don't have a guy like BG. Maybe there's an impact. Maybe there's a something to that.
Here's a new one here from Prince.
Prince says, Xander asks Sills how the Chiefs can lose 11 starters or the Eagles only lose four, but the sky is falling on the defensive side. We have the coaches.
I don't think the Chiefs are making the playoffs.
No, he's talking about when they repeated.
Okay, well, they have Mahomes.
Okay. Tough to push back on that one.
They got Mahomes.
We got Hurts. A-team says the void is always filled if there is a leadership void. They say Jordan Davis is the leader in the D-line room, plus Dean when healthy always been. Dean is a vocal leader.
Jordan Davis is the leader in the dining room.
By the way, I saw Nakobe Dean this weekend and Jahad Campbell at the NASCAR.
Oh, I hope
Jahad Campbell he's a big boy. He's a big dude, man. Like they they got an athlete in that guy. If they can coach him up and he stays healthy, I got a feeling that guy's going to be a nasty good football player.
Just remember, Jason, Jordan Davis is a leader in the dining room.
Oh, shut up.
In the D-line.
Says, what's y'all top 3 teams from each side that are Super Bowl contenders besides Philly and Kansas City? I got the Eagles, the Rams, and the Lions. And then I got the Ravens, the Bills, and I guess the Chiefs.
My 10 are Eagles, Ravens, Bills, Rams, Lions, Redskins.
No.
Chargers, Bucks, Chiefs, 49ers.
I don't think the Redskins are a Super Bowl contender. If I'm wrong, I'll eat my crow, but I don't think they are.
I got them winning the East, Junior.
The oldest up-and-coming team I've ever heard of. I saw that tweet on Twitter.
You look at
the Redskins are up-and-coming. They're like 38.
Wait a minute. Here's Xander. Xander goes like this. Hey, look, experience doesn't matter.
I didn't say that. I just got done talking about how Brandon Graham's a massive loss.
You have 5 new dudes with experience that you have to worry about starting on the other side of the ball. But they bring in Jeremy Tunsil and these guys, and you're talking about them being like the AARP group.
They are the AARP group.
Okay.
It's different when you need your AARP group to be the leaders physically on your team.
Still the
Eagles
top
didn't
5.
have that. The Eagles had the young nucleus with the old leader.
You under the impression that Tunsil's like Robert Quinn?
No, I'm not. Tunsil's a good player. But wait. Can I ask you something about Tunsil?
Sure.
He's a good player. Yes, 100%. What team lets go of a really good left tackle? Just see it, Tunsil.
The Redskins. They let Trent Williams go.
That's true. And how'd that work out for him?
Yeah, not very good. Their quarterback got hit in the back of the head every night.
I don't know. I'm just saying, is that a red flag on Tunsil? Like, why? If he's so great, and I do respect the player, but if he's so good, why are they letting go? And they got a young quarterback in Houston.
No. You're right. It's a great question.
We'll see.
Great question.
All right, Sills, great show, brother.
All right, Junior, we'll catch you tomorrow morning. Thank you so much. Make sure you check out the garage too with our friend. He'll have some great postings off that NASCAR event here. That's a great question to ask JAKIB. Who takes that leadership role on that side of the ball for the defense? So you have all those guys that you're replacing, those 5 starters, but let's add this one here to Brandon Graham. Who becomes that leader on that side of the ball with all those guys that are so young? I mean, I don't know. How many guys are over 27 years old? Bond and Reed, and the rest of them are in their mid to early 20s, right? Who's the leader there? Let's get the JAKIB from Fox 29. Tomorrow, training camp. So I don't know, Gary, when you hear the word training camp. So I said this morning. Somebody asked me about training camp. Now, my visions are completely different. Back then, I used to shake.
Yeah,
I used to go.
It's not like that anymore.
Right. So, I mean, these guys don't have to wake up in the middle of the night and worry about, too much shit because they're not going to be pressed. But Gary, you and me do we not have to change our thinking that in the last 2 years, the Philadelphia Eagles have been one of the healthiest teams on the planet. Yeah. And maybe it is about those controlled scrimmages because they're healthy December, January, and February, aren't they? Yep. So they're doing it right?
I got to give them credit. I mean, I was kind of giggling, with the practices, boom, going, because times go out, I'm going, okay, you guys get ready to get started. Hey, no, we're done. What? I mean, the practices, but, they work on things that are essential, and they make sure they keep the guys healthy. If somebody says, hey, something, they feel something that, they have a kind of, I guess, a trust with the people that are the trainers and everything, and they keep guys healthy, and ultimately that's what it's about. It's about winning, and they play well too. So, and I think that they go through the mental part of the game. They look at a lot of film together, where they're looking at the team they're playing. The guys, and the other thing is they have a lot of coaches. I mean, they have guys with the detail. Of course, every position's got different, coaches, and they get into the detail of everybody's job. Everybody knows exactly what they're supposed to do. And, the way they do it, it's different. but it's been effective. So, I can't question the way they do things, but the crazy practices, the things, 3 practices a day, stuff like that, like we used to do. No, none of that.
Gary, let me go here with you and ask you a question about this offseason here. Name me the number one thing in an addition to the football team that made the Eagles better. With all the losses they had, 5 starters that you're going to go into because of Dean potentially not being there. That's 5 starters going into that Cowboy game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Ton of losses. I'm not even talking about Becton. I'm talking about the defense here. You tell me, do you think they've done enough, or do you think they were complacent this offseason here? Because name me a move that made them better, in your opinion, externally, that they brought in to make themselves better with all the losses.
Well, I guess you would have to go to the draft and start talking about the draft.
So unproven players.
Yeah, not proven. Yeah, you're right. But tremendous potential.
Yes.
I think with Jahad Campbell and Andrew Makuba, they expect them to play this year. They expect them to play, come in there and help them. And I will say, that they both look like good players. And Jahad Campbell, the kid is he's a big kid that can run, man. He's a big kid that can run. And he's smart. You got to realize he came from Alabama there. He was playing linebacker at Alabama. He was getting great coaching. I could see him looking at tape of him. His fundamentals are sound. He knows how to drop into coverage, read the quarterback, break on the ball, got good hands, catch the ball. I mean, and he's a big kid that could be coming off the corner, rushing the passer because he's good at that as well. So you got a kid that's got these, these different skills, and they don't know where they're going to need him, see? But they did go out and they got a kid that they know can play at this level. He can shine at this level. Now, how long is it going to take him to do that? We'll have to wait and see, but he's a solid football player. He's a smart kid.
But of all the free agents they signed, all of them are on 1-year deals and nobody really got any money. If you look at the front money, I mean. Correct. I mean, basically, this is like IKEA, guys, that you went and got to IKEA where you bought one of them cheap-ass desks. So you tell me, I mean, outside of the draft, do you feel comfortable with anybody they've added?
Well, for me to say that I believe that one is going to come in here and shine now, maybe so. And, some of them, saying the kid really looks good in his shorts. Yeah, I haven't seen these kids do anything, so I'm not going to say they can do anything. At least the college kids, I know I have seen them. A lot of those other guys, they haven't really, like they wouldn't be out there if they had done something, that spectacular. So the big thing the Eagles have is they got, Hunt from last year, Ojomo. They've already showed they can play in this league. Now, can they play as starters? That's what we got to find out. Can they come in and they play as starters? But those are the guys I think from last year that we haven't seen have the most promise because they've already shown they can play in this league and they can excel. But can they do it if they're starting rather than coming off the bench where they're playing most of the minutes, where people get a chance to look at them and to see what they do? And are they going to be a liability or a plus? Or can they play as well when they're playing full time? Now, a lot of guys as a backup, they look good. And then they're playing full time. Either they wear out or whatever. Not everybody transitions to where they really continue to shine. But those are the 2 guys that are the most promised, Hunt and Ojomo, on that line that we want to see something.
How about this one here? I'm trying to explain to people the difference from going from a pass coordinator or a coordinator to head coach. Here's a great example. Vic Fangio going from coordinator to head coach didn't work. Mm-hmm. Stoutland's not going to be a head coach, yet he's a great coach.
Yeah.
That transition, just like going from the college game for you and me, Gary, from the college to the pros, that's a tough transition for the player, let alone a coach going from being a coordinator to being a play caller or being a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts meshing with Kevin Patulo. I mean, Kevin Patulo may have designed the plays. He may have drawn up plays and helped Kellen and Nick over the last year. But when you get into situational play calling, that's a whole different environment.
Correct.
When you've got to coach the tight end coaches, the wide receiver coaches, deal with Jeff and all that, that's a different responsibility that creates different objectives. I mean, look at Brian Johnson, what he did with Jaden Daniels up in Washington. I don't know if he was a bad coach. That guy was Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
I mean, so you tell me, the meshing of Hurts and Patulo, do you have a concern on that?
I don't. There's going to be some adjustments that's got to be made. The good thing I like it is they have been in this environment together, already, meaning that, the pressure's on, and how serious coaches can get. Their job is on the line. Are you helping them? Are you hurting them? Are you coming in? You doing your job? Well, they both know each other. See, so that's a plus. Is it going to still be an adjustment because he's in a different position? Yeah, because he's the guy calling the plays, and during the game, there's a seriousness. Everybody gets serious because they know, hey, this is why we get paid. We could be doing stuff during the week, but hey, we got to get things done during this game. And so there's a seriousness there. But I do like the fact that they know each other in this environment already. And Kevin Patulo has been kind of looking over the shoulder of the play caller. See, so he's been right there. He's seen the way Jalen reacts. What is Jalen like? He's on the earphones. He can hear Jalen say, hey, I like this, whatever. So he kind of knows him some. So I think that's a help. But, the big thing that offense needs to do is they need to be in position to carry this squad a little while, While you got all these new kids coming in on defense, they need the offense to carry them. And I'll tell you, you look at this schedule, I hear this guy with the Rams running his mouth or whatever. He wants to play the Eagles and everything. But the Rams, they played the Eagles the best in those playoffs. The other teams, they blew everybody else out. But those games against the Rams, the
Rams and Bucks.
And they got to play them bang, bang. Those are two teams, they haven't played well against the Bucks. They got to deal with the Rams. So the beginning of the season, they need the offense. I don't think it's reasonable to expect the defense with all these new players where you're thinking they're just going to come out and play at a real high level immediately. But the offense, we got all this talent. They need them to show up quickly and play well in those first few games. They got to play well.
Gary, well then, okay, if they have so much faith and they really love Kevin Patulo and you're very confident, then why in 23 did they give the job to Brian Johnson and not Kevin Patulo?
That's it. I mean, good question. Good question. I think, well, of course, he already had that relationship with Jalen. He had an ongoing relationship with Jalen. And that's pretty much as far as I could say it. And, the other point is, when, Brian Johnson didn't do well, they still didn't give him the job. They brought in a guy from outside. So
that's right.
But
that's another ad. That's really, I didn't add that in. You're right. They went like this. If Kevin Patulo is so exceptional and everyone's telling me how great he is, they one bypassed him with Brian Johnson, and then they bypassed him again with Kellen Moore.
That's right.
Why is he ready now?
You know what? We're going to find out. But but the thing is, he has been here through everything. He's been here how many years? 4 years.
He's been here the whole time.
He's been here, and he's got to be taken in. He knows what Jalen likes. He's looking over his shoulder all the time. He's hearing the call. So he's seen these other guys, and I think that's a plus. Now, is that going to, in and of itself, get him over the top? No. He's got to do a great job. I mean, but he knows these players. He knows the quarterback. For that matter, he knows the head coach too, who's, I'm sure, got his hand on, the
Hey,
offense.
Gary, maybe it's just his time. You know what I mean?
Maybe it is, but
you've seen coaches before sit on his roster before, and all of a sudden those guys don't get elevated. And when they elevate the wrong guy, 2 wrong guys, all of a sudden you put the next guy in there, and he's a superstar. That stuff happens all the time. Guys get
That's
over
right. Now the other thing though is, look, this is a Super Bowl championship team. You know there's not going to be a lot of patience. You know that.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, people are going to be expecting, wait a minute, this is a Super Bowl team. So if he's looking for patience, this is not the place. He is stepping into the heater because people are expecting this team. You got all this top talent offensively. You know, a team that took it to, look at how this offense took it to Kansas City in the biggest game of the season, blew them out, and had blown out Washington too. This offense, people are going to be expecting them to hit the ground, man.
Yeah.
You got Pro Bowl level receivers, you know, the best offensive line in the game, best running back in the game, the best, you know, a multi-talented quarterback, guy who's able to run, and you got all this. Hey, they're expecting, you know, 30, 35, 40, 50. They're not expecting no slow start now. So.
No way. Gary, do you think A.J. Dillon helps Barkley?
You know, I saw his size. All I've seen, you know, he moves pretty good. But we got to find out is he ready to play football? I mean, he's got to be healthy enough. He got the, you know, something up by your neck, man.
That's, you got pinchers and he's got.
So, but I tell you what, I mean, what if they were just doing a thigh, whatever?
Yeah.
These dudes got the biggest thighs between him and Barkley.
Yeah.
These dudes got wheels. I mean, look like he looks like he could squat about 700 pounds.
Right.
I mean, but him and Barkley. But the thing is, he just needs to be healthy. But he's a big guy, so he could be a big physical back. You know, you can see that he could be that kind of guy. If he's healthy, they're going to pound when he goes in the game. You can believe that.
Do you concern yourself with the defensive turnover and the regression in experience as being a major problem heading into training camp with the defense? I know they may be talented guys, Gary, but you got 5 turnovers and the regression. I'm not saying regression in talent, but I am saying regression in experience. I mean, the 5 guys you're putting in there have never started.
Well, this is going to be where it's going to really challenge your coaches, you know, because, you know, you want to get a guy to where he's playing like he's been there a while. And you're talking about that many players, you know, that's not usually the way things are done in the NFL. You know, you see 3 guys a turnover, but you're not used to seeing, you know, 4 or 5 guys on
That's
one unit. Yeah, off one unit, you know, changed and taken out. Especially after they played so well, you know. But this is the thing they got going for him. That doggone Vic Fangio, the dude knows what he's doing. I will give him credit that he knows what he's doing, and he can take pressure off of a single player, meaning that he likes to he doesn't like giving up big plays. So, you know, he can get conservative with his calls. And he's not where he's going to be leaving guys butt naked out there where, you know, he's sitting in the house and he got the corners all, you know, one-on-one, and he's doing a lot of that. No, most of the time he doesn't do a lot of that. He's very conservative. And what he's going to ask, though, is those guys that are pass rushing up front, you guys got to get to the quarterback. We're not rescuing you with a blitz all the time.
Yeah.
He's expecting them to get to the quarterback. So, you know, that's what we're going to see. So, you know, he's not a big blitzer, though, where he's going to be sending everybody after the.
Hey, Gary, tell me who I'm in. I'm going to give you an impression here. Who am I? Like that ring with them wings coming out, man.
That's right. Yeah.
Wait,
I tell you,
I like the ring, but the cheesy wings. I mean, it's like the championship ring you win at the Wing Bowl.
Yeah. Well, you know, they said they delayed things. You know, the wings. Yeah, it delayed things because they did that. But so far, it seems like the guys like it. Now, if they start breaking and stuff, you know what I mean, then we'd have a problem. But so far, the guys say that, you know, they like them. But they did put plenty of diamonds on them suckers.
Got 90 of them, right? Okay, look, the wings. I was like, I could have swore I saw you and maybe you and who else here? Maybe Tony Bruno. Maybe you and Bruno were handing out championship wing bowl wings when you guys were doing that. When those guys were over there at the Spectrum, you guys are handing out. I was like, that's so freaking cheesy looking. I like the wing. I mean, I like the ring though. The ring.
Yeah,
these are more like. John McMullen said it on our show this morning. They're more like trophies now. They're not really rings, are they?
Yeah, you're right. They're not really. They are like trophies. That's what. Because come on, and everybody's trying to, you know, whatever, put more on there than the last guy. I mean, what they put on 59 rings. I mean, diamonds on there. We're gonna put 100. I mean, they just. I mean, it's a whole lot of work, man. They going to put those rings together, but.
Hey man, no, you get this. They put like a saying from Confucius Sirianni on there. You're only as great as the way. It was like really.
That's right.
Like Confucius Sirianni was on there.
That's a good one though. You're Confucius Sirianni.
Confucius Sirianni. Every time the wings pop out, you're only as good as the greatness around you. Okay, I was like, man, you know what? I mean, like Dante and Confucius and Sirianni, they all go in the same road. All right, how about this? Couple last ones here for you.
Yeah.
So Gardner Johnson's a shit talker. We know that.
Oh,
but
man.
He's also this.
Yeah.
I mean, he brings an energy to your secondary.
He does.
Does Makuba do that? Or does Sidney Brown do that? Or they miss that?
Well, you know, I'll tell you, if I were to say anything about this is the one guy I would say what you want about the guy. I don't care if the guy's breath stinks. He smells in the locker or whatever. 6 picks, right?
12 in 2 years.
Come on. I mean, 6 picks and you're going to let the guy walk, you know? And, yeah, he can get a little pesty. He runs his mouth, you know, because he be in the locker room. Yeah. You know, I played with guys like that. So what? He talks, you know? But they never said why they got rid of him, you know? They just kind of... You know, but come on, the guy played well for the Eagles. In both of those years, they went to the Super Bowl.
I know.
And then you get rid of the guy. I mean, I don't know what he did. Maybe he must have done something real bad.
Who do you think they're going to miss more, him or Slay?
I'd say him.
Yeah.
I'd say him. I mean, the guy, you know, he plays with energy, and he made a lot of plays for them, man. I mean, you know, 6 picks, man. Those turnovers.
Like you said, 12 and 2 times he was here. They won 2 NFC title games in a Super Bowl while he was here. And the 1 year he wasn't here, they were horrible. They were 28th in the secondary.
I mean, I'm going like, when I found out they traded him, what did he do? I mean, they got to tell what he did. What did he do that bad? You know, I mean, now, you know, and he had experience, and he know how to lure quarterbacks into things, and he's a guy that played for him. But you know, he talked a lot, so I understand. You can hear him yakking. He yacked a lot. There's a lot of guys yak a lot. Give me those picks.
2 last questions for you.
Yeah.
Why won't the Eagles repeat? Then I'll ask you, why will they? Why won't the Eagles repeat?
Well, I think that's pretty obvious. If the guys on that defense, if they don't come around, if the young kids, they got to grow up, man. They don't have a long time to grow up. They need young players to grow up, and they need, you know, some of these backups. They got to step up, you know, and they got to do it, and they don't have a long time to do it. They got that last year. You see the way the young kids that play for them, you know, both of them, Mitchell, you know, and Cooper, both of them stepped up and, you know, played great football for them, you know. But are they going to get that out of, you know, these young guys that they're going to need, you know, young players in there, and they got to get the pass rush. The thing Vic relies on is he's not a blitz. You guys up front got to get to the quarterback. You know, that's the way he plays. You know, he's not going to be sending the house, you know, at guys. You know, he's more conservative than that. So that's what we're going to see. Those guys, you know, I mean, I'm not really worried about the offense. Defensively, though, you got people that you haven't seen do it that you need to see do it on the NFL level.
Why will they repeat if they do?
Okay, why will they repeat? Is because that doggone Vic Fangio did the same thing he did last year. He and his set of coaches, and I got to give those assistant coaches a lot of.
Hey, by the way, Gary,
well,
they will clean house the league if that defense goes back and wins that thing for a second time with that staff with 5 new faces.
Come on,
there won't be a coach left in that building, from Christian Parker to King, Bobby King to Clint Hurt.
Yeah,
I don't even know. I mean, Vic may get another shot at it. I don't know.
Well, you know, he sounded like he didn't want it. He didn't want it. He sounded like he didn't want it. But
hey, Gary, would you turn down $10 million to be a head football coach? I'm not thinking you would.
No, I don't think. So I, you know, we'll see. He probably will get that shot. But if they do it again, that's the thing. Can they do it again? Where you basically got half a season or maybe a quarter of a season to raise a young player to play on the NFL level and play great football on the NFL level. You got 3 or 4 weeks to do it. That's quite a job.
And like you said, a short turnaround because they played the latest with KC. You went all the way to February.
That's
I mean, look, February, and you went like this: February, March, April. There's the draft. You didn't have like some teams January or December. Your season's over, and you got 4 months to gather yourselves. They have no. And the last 4 years, they've gone deep. Hey, D, let me put that in there. 4 years in a row of playoffs, 2 Super Bowl runs in the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shitload of football, isn't it?
That is. You know, you see some of the guys. You can see that, you know, they really do a great job of taking care of themselves. You know, like Lane Johnson. See, Lane Johnson is a pro, man. The guy takes care of. You know, he's serious about his job, and you know, the way he works out, the way he rests at a certain time, but you know, he keeps himself in such great shape. And I mean, even some of the old guys go over there and work with him. I mean, some of the younger, he kicks their butt. He over at his house, he's got him over there working out and lifting and everything. He really is a pro, and he raises a lot of the guys, you know, in a way, because he teaches them how to be professional about their job, how to keep their body in the best of shape. And where you're really doing it all the time. So you take care of yourself. You're always thinking about, you know, being ready to play when you're asked, and you're at your top level and you're as strong as you can get and everything. And that's why the guy's been able to play at such a high level. I mean, throughout his whole career. But he's taught a lot of the young guys, kind of bring them under his wing. He does a great job of that.
Are you looking forward to Rutgers and USC this year?
Oh, boy.
You guys playing Rutgers now, man.
I know, man. Golly. I tell you, they got to pick it up out there, man. Got to pick it up out there, man. You know,
making you guys look bad, ain't they?
Hey, you know, I'm going to go out there for a week, so I'm going to run down there and see what's happening. Say hello to everybody over there.
Man, I'll tell you.
Hey, man, you guys get it together over
hey,
there.
I said this to one of the Southern Cal guys, and Ben Lincoln Riley. I go, yeah, man. I mean, kids from LA don't want to stay there now, and they're going down to the Southeastern Conference.
I know.
That never went on, man.
That never happened. No, they never let guys. No, they didn't do that. They would not let guys get out of there, man. The best was they were playing over there, putting that cardinal and goal on, man. They didn't let that happen. That's bad, man. You can't be letting that talent out of there like that, man. What
Absolutely, no way. Rutgers, USC, that's a big one.
Yeah, I mean, it better be over by the first quarter. Better be over by the first quarter, man.
You better have your 5th team in by then. No, a game like that, Gary, back in the day, Rutgers versus Southern Cal.
I know.
Gary had his pads off after the first 11 minutes of the game.
That's right.
And had, like everyone else going in there, man, that was youngsters, freshmen, and sophomores.
Yeah, we'd be over there on the sideline telling jokes, you know.
Yeah, man, all the guys would be gone. Gary, G-Cobb, thank you, my friend. We'll see you. By the way, you going to be out there tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be out there tomorrow. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be out there tomorrow, see the guys coming in. But then on Wednesday, really, they got their first practice, and we'll get a chance to see who's doing what. Tomorrow, we'll get a chance to see what everybody's look like's coming in, guys in shape, what do you won't see a guy.
Out.
We'll see about that.
Gary, thank you, brother.
All right, buddy.
You
have a good one.
You bet, man. Holy cow. What great content came out of that. So wait a minute here. This is typical Eagle fan. So wait a minute. Let me get this with Kevin Patulo. I gotta get Angelo on for this. After the program, I'm texting Angelo this. If Kevin Patulo is so highly regarded, the last 2 years, they overlooked him and gave the job to Brian Johnson. Well, Sills, Jalen's relationship, and, things went so sideways. He was the next guy up. Okay. Brian Johnson, according to them, sucked. Well, Kevin Patulo didn't get the job. They went outside and stepped over him again. And they went out of the organization and went to Kellen Moore. And now he's ready? I mean, you stepped over him twice. What makes you think he's ready now? He's ready now. No. Well, one guy won a Super Bowl, and the other guy was bad in your eyes, even though he helped get the guy the Rookie of the Year award in Washington. I mean, what makes you so confident that he's going to be good now? They liked Kellen Moore. He was fired in Los Angeles. The last 2 jobs Yale had, he was fired. Okay? He was fired. Wait a minute. Another shit take because he can't fucking answer it. They stepped over him twice. Hey, true or false? Did they step over him twice? Yes or no? Hey, Steve, did they step over him twice? Yes or no? Yeah. Okay. Code for fired. Did they step over him? Yes or no? Twice. Yes or no? Did they step over him twice? Yes or no? I'm just asking questions here. We don't know? Well, wait a minute. I do know. They hired 2 different people. Yes, he wasn't ready. Finally, somebody can answer it. Oh, did they? Yes, they did. They gave the job to Brian Johnson. Then they went out of the organization and hired Kellen Moore. Yes, they did. Outside the building ideas. Okay, they stepped over him. Who was the better? I don't know. I just want to know what now has changed. What's changed? Did you not see the offense? Yeah, everybody got a raise. Get this. Yes, it was 8th overall, but 16th in passing. Yes, I know. Last year you were 30th in passing. It's his turn. Here he is, this guy here. This is the guy that sits like in the back. And he just kind of like shouts out shit. By the way, I'm not saying he's not going to be a good quarterback. I don't know. I just want to know why they stepped over him. All right. Got to pay some bills here. Great topic for tomorrow. I got to do some more diving into that. And I think I'm going to have to do that with Angelo tomorrow. with Patulo. Why'd they step over him twice? Why now? Why is he ready now? He wasn't good enough. Brian Johnson. And to Xander's point, I agree. Sills, he had a relationship with Jalen. Well, Jalen didn't have a relationship with Kellen. He probably had more of one with Kevin than he did with Kellen Moore. He didn't even know Kellen Moore. He said it. It's his turn. Oh. Okay. It's his turn. Okay. It's his turn. Sirianni got the Super Bowl, so Howie let him get his boy in here. Okay. Objectively speaking, Patulo is a bigger question. Wow. An absolutely unfiltered take by M. Reyes. But he is in Brian Johnson's position. Okay? He has the tools, but can he execute? Holy shit. This is turning out to be a decent take. Will he finish strong? We only have faith that he can. All right. You should have optimism. You're the Super Bowl champs. You're entitled to that. It's Sirianni and Hurts. Okay. And there's the finish to it. All right. And Reyes, strong take. You're right. Super Bowl gives him the equity to do that, right? I agree. Now, we can't trust Patulo blindly after dealing with Johnson. Another one. All right. You have said nothing, guy. Why is Dan questioning Eagle coaching hires? No, you questioned him after Brian Johnson and Sean Desai. Were those elite hires? Was Chip Kelly an elite hire? Was Press Taylor an elite hire? Did you like Tracy Rocker? Just asking. Not every guy fits, dude. As long as the offense changes by 95% so we can go back to the Super Bowl. It's not the same exact character arc, and we need to be prepared for that. I think they are. Let me ask you this, M. Reyes. Do you believe that it's a short leash or a long leash for Kevin Patulo? This will always be horrible. So here, they got hired by the Rams and Redskins, and they went to the playoffs. So yeah, Johnson and Desai were good hires. I even said that after they were fired. They were good coaches. This is a good take. And they went to the playoffs with the Eagles too. And you guys fired both of them. Okay? I never said they were bad coaches. You guys did. You guys the ones that said he was a bad hire. I never said they were bad hires. Shit, Sean Desai beat Mahomes, Allen, a whole bunch of great quarterbacks. Tua. They were putting it on people. He had a great run. I beat a shitload of teams. They weren't bad coaches. You said that. I didn't. Wait a minute. Here's exactly what's my point earlier on Kevin Patulo and with Jeff Stoutland and Vic Fangio. Kingsbury called the offensive plays in Washington. Kellen Moore and Brian Johnson called the offensive plays in Philly. What's going to make Kevin Patulo a good play caller? How do you know he's going to be a good play caller? Exactly, Yale. They were not good enough to win the Super Bowl. Coaches. That's why Laurie got Fangio and Moore that could get the job done. I thought Brian Johnson was elevated from within by Jeffrey Lurie. Or are you blaming that on Nick? Who hired Brian Johnson to be offensive coordinator? So you're saying Laurie hired Moore and Nick hired Ben or Brian? Is that what you're saying? I'm confused. Laurie hires everyone. I agree. See, here's the guy, in my opinion. This guy right here, Loeffler, that's the guy who I think is going to be the next offensive coordinator in Philadelphia, is that guy. That guy's a fucking great play caller. Listen to Tom Brady talk about him. Brady had him in Michigan and said he would work with him and work with him and work with him and work with him. He's the Bowling Green guy. That guy is a really good, but let me tell you this. Who's the guy? Who's the offensive coordinator? Who's the head coach? Who was that coordinator up in New England? He's like Brian, what's his name? Sander. He used to be at New England, and he was with the Bama Crimson Tide. Bill O'Brien. He's like Bill O'Brien. This dude right here, this Loeffler guy, this guy's like Bill O'Brien. He's a pretty good offensive-minded guy. But here's the one thing, man. He is a no-shit guy. He is in your ass. And he's an in-your-ass type of dude, man. And he wears people out. That dude is a fucking solid college coach. Dude, he's not only a solid college coach, he knows the position. Okay? Sileo blamed Vinny for throwing 5 picks against Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl, but he benefited his own game playing next to Jerome. Jerome missed 5 games that year, douchebag. And I completely outplayed Jerome that year. Tackles, sacks, TFLs, solos, everything across the board. Not true. He missed a ton of games because he was injured. Outplayed him in games he did not start in or games he left. And I didn't blame Vinny. We won as a team. We lost as a team. He had 5 picks in that game. I don't know what else to say. Okay? It's totally bullshit. Never blamed him. I would absolutely do it again with him. It's pretty clear the biggest difference in this team has been the drafting. Case closed. We'll see. All those players have to play a lot of downs and have to be really great this year. Actually, he had 6 picks. And that we had 7 turnovers in that ball game. Yale. We had 7 turnovers. We gave up 7 first downs. We had just as many turnovers as we gave up on defense first downs. Hey, yeah, it's a true story. How about this, Yale? 7 first downs we gave up and lost. We had 7 turnovers. You gave up as many first downs as you did losses or turnovers, 7. Never lived that down. It was Jerry Sandusky creeping him out on. Hey, you want to hear a story, real zeal? I had that toolbox in my home. Hey, Dan, we'd like to have you come play at Penn State. Damn, coach? Really? The guy was an Italian, not Sandusky, but Joe Paterno. I wanted to play for Joe. I didn't really dig the black shoes thing. I wasn't a black shoes guy. Okay? So the black shoes were kind of weirding me out. I don't really like the black shoes. And so he met me and my coach, Joe Anzalone. We went out for lunch, and we were talking about going to Penn State. And I don't know. I had a lot of opportunities. I could have went to a lot of places. But my grandpa wanted me to play for either him or Notre Dame. Seals, do you think development of players improved when Nick got hired, and how he drafted looked shaky before that? I think it's the assistant coaches that they've brought in that has helped your development. I think the Vic Fangio hire has been exceptional. Nolan Smith, get this. Is this a fair statement? 92, is this a fair statement? Nolan Smith sucked before Vic Fangio got here. Nakobe Dean sucked before Vic Fangio got here. Those guys stunk. And they've become players. I didn't snub them. I got talked into going to Miami at the last second. Coach Switzer gave me my scholarship. I've posted it. I got a scholarship to play at OU. I signed it. I was on my way. And at the very last second, Jimmy called me and said, hey, do you want to be part of something special and build? Or do you want to go to a place that already has a reputation? You could be something special here. And Terry, I went to Miami. We played Oklahoma 3 years in a row. And they were 33-3 over a 3-year run. Who do you think they lost to? Do you think I was losing to OU? We beat them. They were 33-3 in 3 years, and every year we were on the schedule. Oklahoma stopped scheduling us after that. We cost them 2 national titles. And we killed them every game. 33-3. And the one team you couldn't beat was us. That was a fact. What was it like growing up as an elite athlete? I've never been asked that. I could have played baseball, professional baseball. Bobby Valentine on here told you the Mets were going to draft me. And they were going to draft me in the 3rd round. And Davey Johnson wanted me to play. And I went up to Cape Cod. I played with Jeff Bagwell. And I went up and that year I hit 287. I had 17 home runs and like 50 RBIs. And I was a catcher. The Mets brought me down. I was in the dugout. And, hey, Yale, who was that? I named them the other day. The general manager came to my grandpa's house. They put a check on the table. They said, if you sign with us, we'll give you, I think it was $120,000. If you come play, this is what you're looking at. We want to take you in the 3rd round. And I was like, it was a hard deal because I wanted to play. Then I went to a show me camp. And then I went to a Mets minor league system. Yeah, 80-81. The general manager of the Mets. They were all over me to sign. And I was going to was $120,000. It's probably like what today? $1 million or $500,000, something like that. And I was like, yeah, okay. What was my best college stat line? My best college stat line was my junior year. Counting the bowl game, I had 98 tackles, 55 solos, 35 assists, 8 sacks, and 13 TFLs and 4 fumble recoveries. Yeah, Cashman. That's it. That was, and I finished second team All-American next to Jerome. I was first team All-American on 2 other polls, and I was all South. I finished 7th in the Outland Trophy, and I finished, I think, 9th in the Lombardi. Okay. No, it wasn't Cat. It was something else. Yeah, that was my best season. My best baseball season was with the Mets. I hit with the Mets minor league team that you can have all kinds of prospects. I hit like 290. I had 20 homers, and I had 60 ribbies, something like that. I was the cat, and I made all conference. So it was really tough. And then I was recruited to go and play at Iowa, and I was recruited to go wrestle for Dan Gable. I've posted me and coach. My daughter met Dan Gable. He's a friend of mine. And I was going to go there, and I was going to play at Iowa football, and I was going to wrestle. That doesn't mean I was going to be the first team heavyweight wrestler. That doesn't mean that. Okay. I had to win that. There's like 3 teams they have. They were going to give me a shot to come in. I was 66-3 in high school in wrestling. I won the New England's. I won the AAU tournament. And then I had to wrestle for the Olympic qualifier, and I got beat in the Olympic qualifier. I didn't realize it. By the way, you want to hear something psycho? I got fucking pinned. I had never been pinned. And I got pinned within, it must have been 30 seconds. I got up. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Then I got pinned again. Dan Gable came over to me and goes, "Those 2 guys have just qualified for the Olympics." I was like, he goes, "They're 30-year-old Marines." And I was like, "Yeah, well, yeah, no." And he's like, "Those guys are the best in the world." And I was like, holy shit. I didn't realize that, but I couldn't believe that I had been beaten that quick like that. Yes, I did. My best round, I shot a 79. Probably 70. Wait, no. I was under par. I shot a 70 once. I was really good at golf. I played all the time. My dad was exceptional. He played Nicklaus in the amateurs. Okay? Turkish. I'm a Guinea, you jackass. I beat a kid that won 5th at the Junior Worlds in freestyle sills. Oh, that's great. Well, then, Sig, you know how stupid that conditioning is. Craziest workouts I ever did. Oh, and by the way, I went overseas and was a professional wrestler, and I won the Junior European Heavyweight Championship. I did that when I was over there too. Okay. And with Jamaica, Scotty Scheffler winning the British Open. The guy looks like Tiger out there now, doesn't he? Crazy great. Okay. Come on, man. Bro, I'm married now 40 years. What do you think? No, it's over. You kidding me? I mean, what do you mean? Dude, you're married 40 years. What are you thinking about here? Oh, dude, I've been very fortunate. Sills, you were a big Greco guy. Alexander Karelin is probably the greatest wrestler I've ever seen. And he was the greatest Greco wrestler of all time. Just totally one of the greatest. I mean, the Russian guy, he lost 1-0. And he had won 3 gold medals in a row. A tremendous wrestler. And probably my favorite all-time, my wrestler is Alexander Karelin. Just tremendous Greco. Yeah, Rulan beat him in the Olympics. That's correct. Was it 1-0, Sig? Sig, he beat him 1-0, right? In the finals. Sil's been married 40 years. Talk about life. Listen to this. This is what my wife would feel. She's been married 40 years. Talk about a life sentence. How you doing? Hey, that's funny, man. Yep. Hey, 1-0, man. You imagine that? You lose a gold medal in your 4th Olympic medal, and you lost it 1-0. Dude, one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. And if I'm not mistaken, Sig, I think he beat him on an escape, getting out of a hold. He had him on the edge of the mat, and he turns and he gets out, and he got beat 1-0. I mean, it was crazy. You know, somebody said that to me. Hey, Brian. So I went from being a baseball guy to I wasn't really a football guy at first. Okay, I wasn't a football guy. I was a total baseball guy. Like I said, I went to show me baseball camps. I had Worth supporting me. They gave me all my bats, my baseballs, my Rawlings gloves, everything. And they were sending me camps all over the country. Missouri, 2 in Missouri, 1 in Illinois. They sent me to another one in Wisconsin. They sent me to another one in Indiana. They were sending me all over the place. I was only 12 years old. I was 12 years old, and this guy, Larry Tallman, who was a friend of ours who lived in our city, came to me and said, hey, Worth would like to support you and send you. I'm like, wow. So they flew me to all these camps. They paid for everything. They couldn't pay me, but they gave me bats, balls, equipment, cleats, baseball bags, baseball bats. They gave me a hitting machine. I had all that stuff, and I was 12 years old. I didn't think about that. I was 12 years old. Yeah, I think it's the stupidest thing on the planet. I saw that shit on the NFL's Twitter page. So let me get this right. Okay, flag football. Where are you going with this? I mean, what is this? Come on, man. Let me make sure. Xander, make sure I say flag. I mean, what is this like? So today I'll be politically correct. So what is it like? Smear the dude? So, I mean, what do? You pull the little flags off of people and you're running around playing flag football. What is that? I mean, I'm not sure what you're trying to, what is it? My daughter plays rugby. So, I mean, we're not very high on this. So you'll have to help me. It's two-hand touch. So wait a minute. It's like going over to Wildwood, right? And playing with your buddies in the beach, sand. And you're playing football. Are you tackling anybody or are you just touching each other? I mean, right? What is it? We have a new champion. The champion of flag football. Yeah, I mean, these guys here, honest to God, these guys played Cape May versus Ocean City. And the championship of the flag football is Cape May. Congratulations, everybody. You get yourself one of those pop-up eagle rings. Oh, man. I was like, okay. I don't, not me, man. I don't really see anything in it. I don't know what you're trying to do. I really don't know what the end game is. That's great, man. Wrestling's a tremendous sport. Seals, did you see that Jerry Jones said about Micah? Any chance they trade him prior to the start of the season? What did he say? I didn't hear what he said. Remember, one of my favorite line is, last time I heard him make a comment about this was, he said, I'd rather take a paternity test. So wait a minute. So the rings are $250,000? All right. I was wrong. They're not $50,000 or $250,000? Wow. Get little pop-up things like this. Little cheesy pop-ups. Okay. Where am I? Dude, I still got a shitload of stuff to get to. My preseason top 10 teams. I do want to hit on that one thing again with Jordan Davis. Also, the Eagles in 2025, how are you going to respond this year? I'm going to hit on that. By the way, our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, as the football season approaches tomorrow, they report Wednesday they will be on the field, which is insane. And we have Morgan & Morgan with us here, the number one injury law firm in all of America. Folks, $30 billion in recovery. They just had a $100 million recovery down in South Florida. Simple as that. Crazy great on how the reason they're number one is because they win. Folks, if you've ever been injured, you hear the stories. A family in Pennsylvania got $30 million when it came to recovery, where an insurance company only wanted to give them $600,000. A family down in Florida got $12 million, initially offered $350,000 by a company. The number one reason why they win is because they don't lose. And here's the cool thing. They don't get paid unless you win. Simple as that. They take cases, and this is why they win. Do me a favor. Go online, forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sil sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sil's National Football Show. Please hit the like button. My Aunt Betty took these. That's me, number 93, at Bucks Camp 3 days. Here's another one. That's me getting ready to hit the bag. I'm in a 3-point stance. My God. I cannot believe. There's the two of them. I cannot believe the amount of humidity and heat. And the Bucks report today. Oh, my God. I've never done anything harder in my life than that. It's 3-day practices were just stupid insane. It's like a whole different world. And what that shit was like. Man, it's a billion years ago. I mean, you know, these guys, I'm really happy don't have to go through this. When J.J. Watt tweeted something like how dumb it was to say that Micah retweeted it. Drama in Dallas as usual. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones rambling takes a shot at Micah Parsons, even saying if they sign him, it doesn't mean they'll have him because he was hurt last year. Micah didn't seem to like it or like that comment. That's awesome. Jerry should trade him. Jerry Jones should trade him. I mean, he's not going to deliver a Super Bowl for you. They need to do what the Eagles are doing. They need to draft better, and they need to get better in the O-line. I don't care how many Micah Parsons or how many CeeDee Lambs you sign. That's not winning football. They signed the wrong people. Who are the biggest millionaires? What grouping are the biggest millionaires on your team? Do you guys know on the Eagles? What is the biggest group of millionaires? It's your O-line. It's not your receivers. Your receiver room is not your richest room. You may think it is because there's two dudes, but you got 5 guys in that O-line. You get your 2 tackles make 50. Your guard and center make 40. I mean, get $100 million in 4 guys. $100 million in 4 guys. And by next year, you're going to have $54 million in 2 dudes, in Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. You're going to have $51 million. Yeah, that's right. The Eagles can sign A.J. Brown, and they can draft Devontae because they're doing the right thing by building internally. Seals the Skins roster is the cast from the movie Cocoon. Hey, here's their deal. Okay, so Kimberly, is this fair? The Redskins may be too old. The Eagles might be too young. Is that fair? They might be too young. Isn't that fair? Okay? They might be too old. You're not wrong. But you might be too young. By the way, people are upset with me goofing on the cheesy eagle ring. It pop, like the wings come out. Like a Superman ring. Yeah. It's like a Superman ring. I think that's fair, but Howie needed to do it. Okay. Hey, well, Steven, that means you think he cares more about 26 and 27, right? Would that be fair too? A Batman ring. Yeah, you get the little glow ring inside, you know, when you pop it and it pops open. And then, by the way, You got Confucius. You got Confucius Sirianni. It is what it is till it isn't. Till it ain't. Or is that way? That's Hurts. Hurts is saying what it is, what it ain't, what it is, what it not. I don't know. How does that thing go? It is what it is until it isn't. I forget what's that Hurts line? And Sirianni's line is, you're only great with the great ones around you. I forget. What is that stuff? You know those sayings? What are those sayings? Like they belong in like John Wooden's book. It is what it is until it isn't, and it is. Jalen Hurts. Oh, here it is. The main thing's the main thing. Okay, I mean, I'm good with that. No. Not Hurts' contract. Reed Blankenship's contract. Wrong guy. Where's his contract? Oh, I forgot to ask Xander that. So does Reed get this deal done by tomorrow? Where's Reed's deal? I thought Reed's deal was getting done here. Where's Reed Blankenship's deal? I think they're going to wait. But hey, I might be wrong. By September, what's he waiting on? To see if Vic likes the safeties? He might need who, Simmons? Is that what he's waiting on? He's waiting on Vic? Yeah, it's in the mail. Check's in the mail. They're on vacation. Okay. Yeah, where was Sirianni? Oh, that's right. He was out in Hollywood. He was over at Jalen's new spread over in Malibu, hanging out with the dudes. If Reed is a young player, why should he step on the field with no contract? No. He's got to play out this year. That's extending him. No. They got to pay him. He's got one more year, like Javon Hargrave did, and like a year ago, like Zach Bond did, and also Josh Sweat. How do you know they're not treating him like Josh Sweat, or not treating him like Milton? How do you guys know this? Who told you that? Why in the world wouldn't they have addressed this already? It's past June 1. Are they negotiating? If Justin Simmons was still good enough to make a big difference, a team would have signed him by now. No, that's not true. That is so not true. How do you know that teams don't have contracts on the table and he's looking at the best opportunity for him to go win games and get paid? That's not true. That's not how that works. Not with a player like him. I'm not saying he's Justin Simmons of 4 years ago, but that's not how that works. Look at Alexander. Alexander, he balked. They signed him for no fucking money, man. I thought he was going to be north of shit. Slay got north of 10 million. Okay? I mean, he balked. If I were him, I would have waited. But then he looked at it and said, well, let me get on the other side of that corner they have there, plus the safeties they have. They got a great secondary. So he wants to play on that football team because he thinks the Ravens give him a shot. How do you know the Eagles didn't have a deal on the table for him? At that price, why not? But then again, the Eagles haven't really done anything in the offseason. If anything, they did it in the draft. The undrafted, the free agents they signed, again, I mean, nobody jumps out at you as anybody great. They signed, I mean, then again, I thought, and so did John, we thought Barkley wasn't going to be a factor. Maybe one of these guys turn out to be great. We'll see. Happened a year ago. 2 dudes did, actually. Becton and Bond. If we were just waiting for training camp to see what we have, then sign Simmons, I'd rather have kept Slay, who's better for one more year. Yeah, I mean, why did you keep – let me ask you this. I mean, really? You couldn't keep CJ and Slay one more year. It was that important to get rid of those guys. I mean, did Keely Ringo really make you make that decision? You wasted his rookie contract already. It's too late. At the end of this year, you got to decide what to do with him. You're going to extend him or no? Why would he stay? I mean, here's where I go. Next April, I'm looking at another corner. And as long as Vic Fangio is the D coordinator, I'm not looking for somebody in the free agent market to sign as an edge rusher. Why? You didn't need one in the Super Bowl. I agree with what people were saying this morning, Jeff Kerr. When Jeff Kerr said this, that room is totally unproven. You do not have proven edge rushers. But I'll also, on the other hand, go, I'd like to see what they have. I'm all right with it. But hey, I see the gamble. I see your gamble. Like this. Hey, Sills, are you sold on the edges? No. Do you think they're bad? No. Do you want to see? Yeah. I want to see what they can put on the table and how good they can be. My problem here, flat out, there's more upside with me with Hunt because Hunt's bigger. I think he's rangier. And believe it or not, I think he's a better athlete. The guy was a former corner or defensive back or whatever it was as a younger player. He's morphed into this position. He's a better athlete. I think he's a better athlete than Nolan Smith. Smith is fast. I'm not saying he's not an athlete either. But he's an undersized dude. And I think they totally maybe this is something. You're right. Here's where I'm saying they took a gamble with CJ's replacement, Slay's replacement. I don't really think it's that much of a gamble with the Moro Jomo and Milton Williams. I think Milton is a way better player, but I don't think that that's that much of a cliff dive going from him to that guy. Like, how about this? To put it in numbers, if Milton's a 10, I could see Moro Jomo being a 7. That's not a far fall. You might be able to make up for the difference with the other 30% by Ty Robinson. That's why they drafted him. So you might be able to make that up that way. Okay? So, I mean, Nolan Smith, he's a small dude, and Jalix Hunt is an unproven dude, both of them. Well, so what about the playoffs that Nolan Smith looked like he played exceptionally well in? Guys can go on runs and then never be seen again. You guys have seen that in Philadelphia for decades. You saw it with Carson Wentz. You've seen it with other players that have gone on these streaks and then gone away. I see it all the time in the NFL. Some guys, you look like this. Man, that guy's a great player. All of a sudden, 2 years later, you look up, he's off the team. I actually like this kid. 2 years ago, I was talking about a Jomo and Thomas Booker. I think they're good. I think this kid Booker can play. Yo, that's been my offseason contention. Okay? Get this. He did not destroy guards all year. He didn't fucking start until BG got hurt, dickhead. Once again, lying. So let me get this right. Dean and Smith will not play week 1. And Campbell. So you're going into week 1, in your opinion, by saying that Dean, Smith, and Campbell won't be playing. You think those are 3 important people? Oh, I'm not sure about Smith. I didn't hear Smith. You're talking Nolan? I didn't hear he won't play. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. So if Blankenship blows out a knee, he has no contract after this season. Why? I said, why? Okay, why would you step on the field? Well, you're under the assumption that he believes that he's an essential part that he can't be replaced. Well, the Eagles didn't think that. They drafted a safety. And they got a third rounder in Sydney. Right. Milton bet on himself. Sweat bet on himself. They knew full well they weren't going to give him contracts. They didn't sign for cheap. I wonder if Josh Sweat had taken another pay cut if he would have stayed. Obviously not, because he got $20 million. They probably asked him. Don't you agree? If you asked Dallas Goedert to take a pay cut, don't you think they were going to ask Josh Sweat to take another pay cut if he wanted to stay? Sweat said, fuck that, I'm leaving. Never offered him. Right? Never offered him. So that's why that shit was never broached. Becton should have stayed. He was a good fit here mentally. Why should he stay for $1.5 million when he just got 11? Why would he stay? Are you going to take a $9.5 to $10 million pay cut because you like the Eagles? And by the way, him going to LA, taxes are through the roof. Still, you're going to make a ton of money. Why in the world would you end up doing that? You're going to stay behind to play for $6 million or $5 million, whatever they may have offered. And you got $11 million to go to the Chargers. You guys are under the impression that money doesn't talk. It does. Yeah, you're not going to take a $10 million pay cut. There is no taking cuts in the NFL. Your career is too short. That's why our union sucks. Seals, if the Eagles lose in the first round of the playoffs, I promise you, Milton doesn't get that deal. Or maybe Josh, too. Because Josh played his ass off in the postseason, especially the Super Bowl. That's a great take. Probably so. Okay, probably so. But I'll tell you what, if Becton, he's now blocking for Justin Herbert. If that team goes and plays in the AFC Championship game, it was an upgrade for him because he improved the football team that's trying to improve. I think the Chargers are going to have a breakout year this year because of the coach. The coach is too good. Minter, the D coordinator, who was the Michigan guy, that guy's going to be a future head football coach. And what they need to do is keep adding pieces around Herbert. But here, these kind of pieces, they got to be. Hey, why do you think Justin Herbert had a better year a year ago? They ran the ball more. They took the ball out of his hands. Quarterbacks become better players the less they do. The more they do, you become Dak. Dak can't do it. Jerry thinks because you pay the guy $60 million, Dak's going to carry his football team to Santa Clara. It's asshole thinking. Jalen Hurts doesn't have that. It's the best built team for a quarterback I've seen in a long time. Since Aikman. Herbert has 0 wideouts. That's why they ran the ball. Herbert is an elite quarterback. I thought Justin Herbert was an elite talent. Just because you're an elite talent doesn't mean you have to throw the ball all the time. There's only one quarterback in pro football that can carry a football team. That's the guy in KC. The rest of them, Lamar, Hurts, name them. You have to have talent around you or you're not going to do it. Allen, too. Those guys are not capable of doing the things that Patrick Mahomes does. And you could say all that all you want. Herbert has no talent around him. There's not one player in that huddle who could play in Philly. Not one. By the way, there's not one player who could play in Los Angeles with the Chargers, Kansas City, Buffalo, and Baltimore combined could win a job in Philly. Maybe Creed Humphrey. I could put 4 rosters together, and now one of those teams could produce one player who would start. Maybe Becton, and he's a product of the Philadelphia Eagles. Sure, Becton. The only other guy who would start would be the quarterback over Hurts. That's it. Think about that. Creed Humphrey, KC. Nobody in Baltimore. I'll take Saquon over Henry. I still think Henry's a great player. Buffalo. In LA. Nobody. No. Who's starting over Devontae that plays on any one of those other teams? At wide receiver 2. Who? Are you crazy? There's not one team that I just named, Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo, or the Chargers, where their second receiver is better than Devontae. That shows you how talented the Eagles are. I could put 4 teams together, and Creed Humphrey, excluding the quarterbacks, would probably be the only one out of, 44 players. 44 players I could pick from 4 teams that made the playoffs. Couldn't start in Philly. We are a talented team, but won't win the East. I've got Washington. I think the quarterback's better. Now, he may prove me wrong. I don't believe that he's going to have step backs. Where? Did the division get better? You think the Giants get better? The Cowboys didn't get better. Who'd they add? George Pickens? Who the fuck is blocking for him? Who's stopping the run in Dallas? They didn't get better there. Where did the Giants get better on offense? Tell me where they got better on offense. Where did the New York Giants get better on offense? Dallas got better, get this, on the perimeter. What about the internal things that makes you guys winners? You guys don't win games because of your perimeter. You win games because of your interior. Devontae gets less targets than half the league. I firmly believe he's Jefferson, and he's not Jefferson. He's not Jefferson. He is not Justin Jefferson. Bro, come on. Nobody in the world thinks that. He's Jefferson. I'm not saying if he wasn't in a better passing system with a better quarterback that throws the ball. How about this? I'll take that back. A better thrower, that he wouldn't have more prolific numbers. But that's not what they do. By the way, if Michael Irvin was in a better system when it came to throwing the ball, he'd have better numbers. I'm not saying Jerry Rice numbers, but he'd have better numbers. He was in a running attack. People look at Irvin's numbers and go, well, they're not. Well, he had a running game. His entire career, he had a running game in Dallas. He played 12 years with Emmett. I mean, who are you giving the ball to? You're giving the ball to Emmett. Jefferson is just, by the way, I don't hold that against Howie. There's a ton of tremendous. Hey, Bobby Beathard drafted Ryan Leaf. he also built the 3 Super Bowls in Washington. You think he sucks as a GM because he picked Ryan Leaf when he was the GM of the Chargers? No. I mean, that doesn't make Bobby Beathard a shitty GM. Okay? Oh, if he's that shit doesn't really. I love that Smitty's not a diva and he's a team guy. He's great, you know? Eagles are better than the Redskins, even if you give Daniels improvement. What's Vegas have them at? Eagles around 160 and the Redskins plus 25. Okay. I want to see the Eagles defense. By the way, I'm not questioning your offense. Okay. Diva with nothing to show for it. Bad team. Not a bad team. Bad quarterbacking. Okay, had nothing to show for it. It's not his fault. Are you trying to tell me that Justin Jefferson has not lived up to what he's been asked to do? With Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold as his quarterback. You see what M. Race is doing here? He's trying to make Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold sound like they're elite quarterbacks. Those guys are below. Cousins is a good quarterback. He's not. Nobody would ever call him elite. Nobody. He was a good player. Would you call Kirk Cousins elite? Would you really say Kirk Cousins is an elite ball player? Hey, I got to take another time out here. Folks, our good friends at Morgan & Morgan, #1 injury law firm in America for a reason, because they win. So proud to have them part of the program here. Guys, please do me a favor. I'm telling you, if you guys are ever experiencing anything where you feel you've been injured, hurt in an Uber ride, what have you, insurance companies not delivering on, if you've been in a storm where you have something with your homeowner's insurance, promise you, Morgan & Morgan will look into it for you to make your life easier. It's why they have thousands of attorneys coast to coast, making sure they represent you, just like John has said. It's a family-run business, folks. That's the #1 priority. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529 to do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Tomorrow, report. M. Reyes, my boy. By the way, guys, do me a favor. Go over to my X account. Please follow along. At Dan Sileo Show. M. Reyes is over on my Instagram accounts. So he's awesome. You guys are great. I'm looking forward to a gigantic NFL season, guys. I can't thank you enough, man. Tomorrow, report day for the Philadelphia Eagles. The world champion Eagles report tomorrow. And their quest to repeat, which is crazy great and fun to follow and also fun to cover. Guys, hit that like button. We appreciate you more than you know. 2 to 6 tomorrow, and we shall see you on the flip side.